Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. Welcome to straight from the two Dum Yinzers highest towers here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Everybody, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to the show. This is episode 884 of the two Dum Yinzers. I want to say to everybody this morning, welcome back. Glad to see everybody today on the terrible board, guys. A lot of things today. We're going to officially make the turn. That means we're going to talk a little bit more about the Ravens game. But this is hump day. It's no better time to make that turn, guys, and start getting ready for the Houston Texans. We're going to get to all that today. So much stuff. I got more Ravens stuff, more Houston stuff, all kind of stuff. It's the day of stuff. Welcome back, everybody. Glad to see everybody today. I'm going to get on the board bright and early. Say what's up to everybody. Good morning. Good morning to Bingo, my man Bingo Winchester. Always great seeing you on the terrible board, sir. Miss Pittsburgh, she is ready to go. I'm just looking at this board, and I don't know if I know anybody besides myself. Maybe this is more pumped up for this game coming up on Monday night than Miss Pittsburgh. But good afternoon to Miss Pittsburgh. She says, "Here we go, Steeler Nation." Good afternoon, Steeler Nation. She says, "Let's go. Here we go, Steelers." I'm feeling the vibe. I am feeling the vibe. Miss Pittsburgh, welcome back to the show. Always great to have you. Also, Lindsay, great seeing Lindsay on the terrible board. All the all-stars are here early today. Glad to see everybody. How you doing, Lindsay? Yinzer Joe, what's up, Steeler Nation? Tortilla Fireball. I like it. Fireball. Get into that in just a moment. Miss Pittsburgh says, "Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl, baby." You know what? There's people that are getting a little bit more starting to believe in this team, not just in the Pittsburgh area. It's kind of interesting. We're going to get into so much today, including that. But I do want to say welcome back, everybody. Glad to see everybody. Bingo says, "I'm not going to stop being critical until we're 15-2, 14-3, consistent, convincing wins in a deep playoff run." And you know what? Thank you, Joe. You too, brother. I listen. This is kind of where I have a problem. I don't have a problem with you. I don't have a problem with. Listen, those are the things obviously we're shooting for. But there was a little yesterday on the show. Phil is still kind of freaked out, and I was thinking to myself, literally, we've only did what he wanted, and he wants, and all of us want 6 times in the history of the history of the Super Bowl, and twice probably in his life. I'm not sure how old he is, but again, I have a hard time not enjoying my football team. Again, even if you know there's not much of a chance, you kind of still have to have a little bit of hope and have a little bit of fun. I just don't understand being upset and miserable through the course of a whole season. I don't know if that's just me. Again, I don't know. About a month ago, they counted us out after the Buffalo game. We had media saying that I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. And here we are in the playoffs just a month later. So again, it's a ride. It's a roller coaster. There's ups, there's downs, fluctuations, and everything in between. I don't know. I love it. Of course, you don't love when they lose, but again, if you go by the Super Bowls you win, in my lifetime, I've only experienced 2 good experiences. To me, that's again kind of crazy, but anyway, we're gonna still continue on. We're gonna do what we do, and we're always gonna do what we do because it's what we do, and we do what we do. Guys, good morning, good afternoon, welcome back. Great seeing Tortilla, Cody, you're the man. That's right on the board. It says it right in front of my face, so it has to be true right here on the internet. Cody, you are the man. Tortilla is right. Tortilla is right, says Tortilla. Vegas, good morning. Vietnam, what's up, brother? Always great seeing the great Vegas on the terrible board, guys. Welcome back to the show. A lot of things to get into today. I'm not going to lie. This is what we're going to call turnover day. Not in the common sense of common use of the word turnover for football, but today is the day we are going to turn the corner, if you will. We're going to finish up our Ravens talk because there's a lot of Ravens things to talk about, of course, not just from the game, but from the past couple of days. But we are going to also take that turn today as we get ready to get into the Houston Texans, guys, the playoff game. And a lot of people, again, I think are starting to, we match up well. You've heard me use this term before on the show. Yes, they have an amazing defense. I want to put that out there. It's an amazing defense. But we do match up well with this particular kind of team. I've said it in the past. I said, I don't want to see this team in the playoffs. We just don't match up well. You don't want to see Buffalo. You don't match up well. And then there's teams that you do match up well. And just so happens this week, the 12-5 Houston Texans is coming here on Monday night to play in the AFC wildcard round. We match up well. And I think this is why a lot of people are starting to be a little bit more optimistic on television, on the internet, everywhere about the Pittsburgh Steelers in this playoff game on Monday. We do match up well. With that being said, it's not – if anybody thinks that this team is going to roll over for the Steelers, you're way off. Way off because this team has the best defense in the league. And we've seen how it played out a couple weeks ago when we played a damn good defense in the Cleveland game, having, of course, the number one defense, passing defense in the league. So, again, not going to be easy by any means, but it is a winnable game, I think, for Pittsburgh. And I do think the matchups are good. I like the matchups. Yeah, you know what, Jeremy? I agree with that. That was my argument all through the week, ever since I found out we were playing Houston. But I do have numbers in front of me that might not have us excited. Lindsay says it's cold in here right now, guys. I have some numbers that might have you not so excited here in just a second. So apparently, the temperature at game time on Monday is going to be roughly 28 degrees. That's cold. I mean, come on. I mean, it's not Pittsburgh cold, but it is January weather. And see, 36. That's what I'm saying. And the low is going to be 28, which again it's cold. I acknowledge that. But at the end of the day, and also here, let me give you this as well. And there's going to be moderate winds and no significant elements expected. I mean, I was hoping for a game in the teens with elements expected and wins, but again, you can't get everything that you want. The Houston Texans guys, his average down where the guys that we're playing next are from and are residing at the time, it is 80 degrees there every day. It's been 80 roughly on average, and then the lows have been roughly 70, 68, 69, 70 degrees. So it's a significant drop from 70 to 80 to 28 to 32. Absolutely. But I'd really like to see one of them games in the teens. Those are the ones that really bite. Even when you live here in Western PA and you walk outside, those will bite the shit. I like them days that bite the shit out of you for when other teams come here, where it literally hurts to walk outside. It's not going to be that kind of game. 32 is generally in the big picture kind of warm, but again, coming from 70 to 80, it is a drop. So I just don't, I don't like it as much as I did. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit more extreme to favor us, but again, that could be just enough. We will see. You won't see. The thing is about it, you don't see. There won't be air coming out of the players' mouths at 32 degrees. I mean, it's barely freezing. And again, I want to see the guys that are really struggling when they come here. But again, as said on the board here, Lindsay says Pittsburgh weather can change, but always change. But it can change 6 times by then, which is very true. I couldn't agree with Lindsay more. Let me grab a couple more messages. We got a lot, guys, and we got a lot of good stuff today. We truly, honestly do. A lot of good stuff. Again, we're gonna wrap up the Ravens entirely. We're gonna close the door on them as they did with their head coach yesterday. We're going to take that turn. We're going to get ready for the Houston Texans. So much to talk about today, guys. Let me jump back on the board here before we do any of that, though. Steeler Freak, my man John from out in Las Vegas, my man. How you doing, brother? He says Stroud's best year was his first. If the Steelers can get the lead, that is the best chance they get done. I agree. You just can't let Stroud come in and have smooth sailing. This defense got to mess with him. And there's some things that I seen last week in the game that has me somewhat surprised. And I hope we get some of these things fixed. Again, we were able to sweep them under the rug with a win, but getting behind our defensive backs consistently throughout the game. Again, 4th down early in the first half. Baltimore's first touchdown. 4th down. Got past the DBs. Touchdown. Those 2 plays by Flowers in the second half got by the DBs. That play by Isaiah Likely that extended Baltimore's off that last series they had, he got behind those DBs. I mean, not behind them all, but nonetheless, he got behind the DBs. Again, this will be something the teams do notice, take note of, and certainly try to capitalize on if we don't fix this. But again, guys, I do think we match up with this team. If there's anybody in this first round that I think we match up well against, I do believe it is the Houston Texans. And a lot of people are going to say that they're going to kill us. A lot of people are going to, make generally decent hypothesis because they have the best defense. That's a big thing, a big thing. So again, guys, we'll get into that and so much more. A lot to get into today, guys. Big news, big scoop, all kind of stuff. But I do want to say before I do continue on, guys, don't forget there's we got about 3 days left this week. Monday. Also, don't forget to get in if you want on the Grab My Balls playoff giveaway. This football behind me right here, we are giving away for the playoffs, guys. It's a $1 entry. You can enter as many times as you want, but $1 will get you entered. And for every dollar, that is an extra entry you do get for this football behind me, guys. It's not just any football. This is a nice Nike football that has the autographs of Captain Cam Hayward on it. The great Antonio Brown's autograph is on it. Hometown guy Charlie Batch autographs there. David DeCastro, Cortez Allen, Derek Moyne, Ross Patrone. Guys, get in. Only $1 right here in the super chat below. Just $1. You can do as much as you want, but $1 gets you an entry. Guys, do get in. Don't forget, we only have a few days left. Today, tomorrow, Friday, and then Monday. And Monday, we'll be doing the drawing to give away my balls. So there you go, guys. It's straight from my collection. I want to give it to you. That is what I want. That's what I want to do. It's not because it's what I want to do. You guys are great, and for that reason, I want to do this, and I'm going to do this. And we've had entries all the way up to this point this week. So guys, on the show, don't forget. Just hit that super chat. $1 will get you an entry. That's it. And you will be entered to win my ball. That's right, guys. Grab My Balls playoff giveaway Monday, the drawing. Let me get back onto the terrible board, guys. A lot of things to get into. And as I said, we are turning the corner today. We're going to wrap up with some John Harbaugh talk. I'm sorry. And then we're going to get into all Steelers, all Houston. And that's going to be it. We're going to be in full swing, guys, as the Steelers are back at it, getting ready for the Houston Texans for Monday night in the AFC wildcard game. DK Metcalf is back at practice. A few small moves around the personnel, around the team. And also, guys, it's the playoffs. One of two things could happen. We could win or we could lose. We'll get into all that and so much more. Let me jump back on the board, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I do like this. I do want to say good morning to everybody. Good afternoon, wherever you may be. Jeremy says, I live in Virginia. It's like 60 here right now. Strange weather. The weather has certainly been strange this year, past couple years. But again, that's a conversation for a whole nother show. Vegas says a nice 49 out here. Nice 49 out in Vegas. Jeremy says, yeah, way warm weather for January for sure. But the thing was, the past 2 weeks, it was way cold weather for December. So maybe it's evening itself out. Bingo says this: when your heart rate's up around 30, can feel pretty cold. Let's see, Mason and Will be freezing their asses off though. I hope the weather's an advantage. Again, I just assumed it was going to be a little bit colder, and I was hoping it was going to be a little colder because I just know that makes it uncomfortable for teams certainly coming from way down south there in where Houston is, especially. So again, maybe it will play a role, maybe it won't, but that is what the numbers look like. I do want to say thank you and good luck to Cody. They did get some. Cody entered for 5 entries on for the Grab My Balls playoff giveaway, and also Yinzer Joe as well. Two entries, guys. He's saying a 19-13 win. The Steelers, and Cody's saying twist that ball. That's right, baby. Cody's going to not only grab it, he's going to twist it. That's what Cody do. Guys, also this, let me go right here. Just Learning, what's up, bro? Always great seeing Just Learning on the terrible board. He says this: Harbaugh and the cleavage coach guy going to team up. I seen something funny. What if they switch teams? What if Kevin Stefanski goes to Baltimore and John Harbaugh goes to Cleveland? Boy, would that be? I just think that would be comical. RV, my man, he says this: that's still not good for Cleveland. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Stroud have smaller hands? He did. The ball hardens, loses grip. Absolutely. Another good point. Another good point, man. We'll take it at this point. We will certainly take it. Jeremy says this: yeah, them guys are going to turn into ice blocks sitting on the bench. And the thing is, again, for 32 for us, I could go out in 32 right now for an hour without a jacket on and be fine. But we just, I guess, got to remember that they're coming from Houston, again, where the average weather is 80 degrees every day. So, again, we'll take everything we can. I do think we match up good with this team. Let's see what Tortilla says. He says Houston is 0-6 in the playoffs when they're away. That's right. The Houston Texans have not won on the road ever in the playoffs as well. That's something. There's a lot of somethings if you're looking for something in this particular game. And again, I think that this is why people are starting to think, hey, you know what? This team might have a chance to win that playoff game. And I got to be honest with you. I hope that they're right. And it's my team. Why wouldn't I? Even if I don't think they're going to go, guys, I'm going to hope that they do, and maybe the craziest shit will happen, and they end up winning the football game. That's all you can do sometimes when you're not. Again, to be the very best team in the league is a very, very rare and difficult thing to do. And if you're not that team, you're not going to be happy the rest of the time. Come on, it's your team. Get excited. Miss Pittsburgh, I do want to say good luck and thank you as well. She goes in a couple more entries, for the Grab My Ball playoff giveaway right here on the Two Dum Yinzers, guys. So much to get into today. So much to get into. Let me jump back on the terrible board. We have a lot of awesome stuff. Again, we are going to turn that corner. It's going to be turnover day right here. That's right. We're going to put the Baltimore Ravens behind us here shortly and make that turn into the Houston Texan game entirely. Smear the steer is a term that I heard recently. I like that. Smear the steer as we are going up against the Houston Texans. Let me get into some more of these messages here. Justin, Just Learning again says this: was Baltimore going to hire Flores? It's a good question. It's going to be interesting to see what they do over there, and I like it because it allows the Steelers to kind of survey how that situation is going to play out, because very similar situations between the two teams. So they did it first. We get to kind of watch and see how things go. I know that John Harbaugh's agent said within the first 45 minutes, seven teams did contact him. So he's not going to have a hard time finding a job in the league. And again, it's these guys they're good coaches. They're just not winning the big games. And to me, that's the problem. That's a problem. You got to be able to win some big games. Some. Vegas says Ramsey had a poor game. He sure did. Mike and I were talking yesterday. For guys like Ramsey, they kind of play by the beat of their own drum, and in a way, it's kind of Troy Polamalu like. And sometimes that guy gets burnt because he gets out of position, or because he's kind of doing because he's better than a lot of people. and he gets to call his own shots basically a lot of time and do his own thing. And sometimes you get burned on that. But I got more problems, guys. We'll get into those issues and more as they get behind. I'm wondering how they keep getting behind our defensive backs. This certainly wasn't the best team of receivers. Yeah, Zay Flowers is good. Yeah, Isaiah Likely's okay. But for this team to continue to get behind our secondary, that's a problem. Something we have to address this week before we get back out there on Monday night. Jamal, my man, Black Magic, what is up, brother? Gang. Nice to see you back on the terrible board, sir. I hope things are going well for you. Hope you had a great New Year. Nice seeing you, my man. He says, sorry, I missed the last 2 days, bro. Been working and sleeping. And I know this, and that's the thing, man. We know you're busy. Even when you're having fun and you're doing your show, you're busy. You're doing you're doing your work and stuff. So we get it, man. Just Learning says Gangster Paradise, baby. Coolio, 1995. Gangster Paradise. Miss Pittsburgh says we got the upset. The quarterback. We got to get in his head, and that's what we are going to do. We kicking ass and taking names. I agree. Again, I think we're totally in this. I truly do. I think this is a winnable game for us. I truly, honestly do. Yinzer Joe says Steelers just told themselves we'll see if Lamar can beat us. We won't let Henry run for 200 yards. They can play their regular defense against the Texans Monday. That's a good point. Off of what I was saying. RB says this cover 3 flat with 1 deep safe is a year thing here now. Teams notice it. Everyone notices it. You're right. They sure do. Jamal says, yes, sir. Gang. Steelers gang. We're all in it. Ain't no getting out. And why would you even want to? You know what I mean? Why would you even want to get out? Come on. It shouldn't affect your life in that kind of way. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying anything bad about the guy. I like the guy. As a matter of fact, I hope he continues to come on the show. But that's one thing I just don't get. I understand being upset with your team, and maybe not thinking your team is the best team out there, which again, it's a very hard feat to accomplish. And again, we've only did it twice in my lifetime. Look at me. Just look at me. That's a lifetime. So again, I hope all is well with him, and I hope that we can continue supporting the Steelers together. Jamal, I'm sorry, RB says, what up, Jamal? Cody, let's see, Bingo, really need to figure out not having inside linebackers, ends covering receiver. Absolutely. Please figure this shit out. As you've seen, Patrick Queen trying to tag along with Zay Flowers on that deep pass, on that deep touchdown in the second half. It wasn't good. It's not pretty. They got to figure some shit out for sure. Jamal says, who that? LOL at RB. Gang. Bro, Ham, what's up? M Sparks. What up, M Sparks? He says, finger red number 1. That's right, baby. Nice seeing you back on the terrible board as always. Black Magic says this. Jamal, I'm sorry. He says, let's get this win for the GOAT Mike. Hey, like I said, he wins a Super Bowl, baby. I reset entirely. I don't forget, but I reset. And I'll be all for it. And again, he will be the man. I mean, come on. That's all you got to do. Just do, get those wins when you need them. Get the important wins sometimes. Again, this is why Jim Harbaugh is in the position he's in. But again, he's going to be hired, and just like everybody else around the league that's a pretty decent coach, he's going to find a job, no issue. So I'm not worried about him. A lot of things to get into. Also, Tyrone, Jamal, dude, your nephew's a monster. Tortilla says that dress doesn't make you look fat. You just look wide right. I like that. That's a good one. And you know what we're going to be naming, not only we give the game balls away on the terrible board every day. At the end of the season, we will be giving the MVP and the Rookie of the Year to the terrible board as well. So guys, keep up the great work on the terrible board. Jamal says, I'm proud of him for real. Also, that's Tyrone says, yes, sir. He got 4th in the state last year. All right. Sounds like something awesome is going on. Jamal says, gang, Cody. M Sparks says, why not switch coaches? After all, the Ratbirds are just the Browns with the cheap paint job. I love it. RB says this, no self-respecting coach will take the Cleveland job. That's a job for the first-time head coaches who are mid-tier first-time candidate. Yinzer Joe says this: I can't see anyone thinking that the Cleveland job is a good situation to have. It's like the Pirates. Who takes that job? Who takes that job? You get somebody coming in that's high, they're hot-headed. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna change this thing around. You're fighting history. You're up against history. Tortilla says Deion Sanders is coming to save his kid once again. Maybe he'll get with them 6-6 seasons out in Colorado. He is the person that probably should be hired to the Cleveland Browns as their head coach. Jamal says, "What up, RB? Got to come to the show and kick it sometime." Absolutely, guys. Go check out the guys. Go check them out. Tyrone says, "Yes, sir. For real, I'll tell him that. Let's go up here. Also, here we go. Just Learning says, hire Harbaugh as a defensive coordinator, hire Cleveland's coach as an offensive coordinator." You know what? These are two. If you're looking in the division, I mean, Stefanski, he certainly excelled, if you want to call it that, in Cleveland. He found a way to get found a way to get coach of the year there. So, these guys might be okay. Who knows? Cody says, "What up, Jamal?" Jamal says, "I'd love to see that with the coordinators." Also, Yinzer Joe says, I thought Harbaugh would go to the Giants. Look how set up they are to start winning. The coach could be the missing piece. Mark Malone, what up, dude? Always great seeing Mark Malone. He says, or it could be the Tomlin taint setting in. The Tomlin taint. There's that taint again. Tortilla says, "What up, Jamal? Gang, Black Magic." Jamal says, shaking my head, "You still mad? LOL. Aaron Jade says, "Here we go, Steelers." I love this message. I love this message. I could get used to seeing this every day, and I do. Tortilla says, "My fault. I'm trying not to get yelled at work." Also, Jamal says, "This about time. Took long enough." At Tortilla Gang. Tortilla says, "I'm on that Thunderbird." Somebody from right here in the studio, Two Dum Yinzers, Mike, let Thunder talk to your boss, Tortilla. There you go. Tortilla says, "I am the captain now, Vanilla Thunder." Also, Tyrone says, "I got flu, man." Oh, yeah, man. That's probably from being up in Cleveland. That's why I don't go up there. I said yesterday, I try to avoid that town, that village at all costs. And I really still think I live too close at an hour and 45 minutes away, but I do feel bad, my man. Get better. Jamal, is he funny as fuck? He is a YouTuber, not a fan. LOL. It's all good. He's a kid, but a real Steelers fan is a fan for life. Bingo says, "Whiskey and sleep, Tyrone." You know what? I just learned something recently. You know how it's always eat. You got to eat. You got to get your energy. Surgeries, I don't eat. But the thing, I was reading about this. The less your body is digesting, it takes all this energy to digest. I just read this the other day. Don't eat a lot when you're sick. And I know it's hard sometimes to eat but your body, if it has more food, it has to use its energy to digest instead of fighting. I just read that the other day. I was always under the assumption the more you get food in you, the better. I mean, you make yourself strong. But I just read that less food in you is the right way to go when you're sick. Apparently, your body focuses more on healing. So just yes, I'm seeing Ryan. Yes, what up? On the board, rest and fluids, of course. But okay, they're talking to Armac. Gotcha. I was hoping I didn't lose sound or anything like that. But that's just what I'm seeing, guys. It allows your body to fight, and your body focuses more on fighting instead of the process of digesting. So again, I never knew this. Maybe try it, see if it works. Let's jump back on the terrible board, guys. Again, a lot of things to get into today. Jamal says, "Yeah, that does suck, dude." Tortilla says he's a fan of every sport team except the Steelers. Jamal says this: "Laugh my ass off. I'm still going to roast his ass every time I see him." Yinzer Joe, the defense ran a zero blitz. Steelers thought because of the formation, they were going to run. Linebackers were in to stop the run, not to cover deep. Fake pitches, draw them up, and Zay Flowers gets a deep pass. And it was 4 different times, guys. That's what I'm saying. There was a pass of, I thought I had it written down somewhere. I have it written down somewhere here. I don't know where it's at, but it was like a 50-something yard pass, the one touchdown. The other pass is like a 36-yard touchdown pass. You know what I mean? So I mean, it was throughout the course of the game, and that was what was concerning. If it happens every once in a while, we could look at these excuses and say, you know what, that's probably what it was. But I don't know why I wouldn't have had it written. I thought that I had written down. Here it is. Big explosive plays. Wide receivers getting behind the secondary on Sunday night. Baltimore had touchdowns of 64 yards, 50 yards, and 38 yards, including including the big catch by Isaiah. Likely was about a 23-yard catch in that fourth quarter drive that kept them alive on fourth down. So 2 times on fourth down, they go big. And one of them being that long touchdown early in the one in the first half, and then in the second half again. So again, a concern, definitely a concern because Baltimore's passing game ain't that great, right? Let's see. I'm a rookie. I'm ready. Just hey, man. It's. I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest with you. Won't be long. When the football season does conclude after the Super Bowl, we will be getting in all of our rookies of the year, the MVPs, things like this, guys, for the terrible board. So do keep up the hard work. Beat the cheeseburgers, what Tortilla's saying. Also, Jamal, I see we go after Lamar Jackson, unpopular opinion. Or I say we go after, you know what, that's been thrown around in Joe Burrow and everybody else. But this is where we're at this time of year. We'll see. Jamal, I guarantee we're going to fight. We're going to see a million things between now and the time we kick off back in August to kick off the preseason. Who knows what the hell's going to happen between now and then? Steeler Freak says this. I say Jacksonville stays in Baltimore. He isn't winning a trophy. Vegas says I heard a guy on one of the Steelers fan pages say we blitzed Lamar 52% of the time. Interesting. I didn't know. RB says, Jamal, I've looked for you to go live every time. I'm at work. The one time on my way home, I seen you go live. You weren't on. It was the other two guys talking about dogs pissing on a PlayStation 4. Armac, my man, great seeing Armac on the terrible board, brother. Welcome back to the show. As always, Steeler Freak says fasting is the best thing. That's what I'm seeing, John. Fasting. This fasting. Apparently, it's like the best thing for you. If you're sick, fast. If you're anything, stop eating. I don't know. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk it? But maybe that's why they make sure you don't eat, 12 hours, whatever, before surgery. Again, public education. I never knew this. Armax says this, not sure about that. I'm not an expert. Tortilla. Doctor told me I need to fast. I told him I run at a 4.3. Also, Tyrone says Duggar and Jay. We got a little bit to talk about Duggar, guys. And Peppers. Think about that connection for just a second. Think about what you've been seeing. This is inspired by a Steeler, a former Steeler. I'm going to talk about that shortly. I found this on social media yesterday. We're going to get into that. Tortilla says this. When I was 120, I ran 4.3, but now I'm about 195, so I don't know. Jamal says, what, you were that fast? That is pretty fast. Boy, stop capping, Tyrone. That's dope, Jamal says. Jamal also says, still don't believe, Max says, I can't stand fasting. I think the best thing to do is just sleep. Like find, time when you're not at work or whatever you're doing, and just sleep. I think that would make fasting the easiest. Not a fan, but as I said, I'm learning this. I like food as much as the next guy. Armax says, I'll stop though. Let's see. Jamal says, capping like a mug. That's the Thunderbug talking. Also, Jamal says, I'm sorry, Tortilla says, I'm fast. Can't tackle for shit, but I can fly, especially when I was 60 pounds lighter. Jeremy says this, our cornerbacks got to step the hell up Monday. Can't let them get explosive plays. Here's the thing. You can't. You're not going to be able to assemble these quick drives at the end of the first half, at the beginning of the first half, and to finish the game. A team like Houston is going to be very similar to a team like Cleveland when you're talking about defense. So think of the one game that we lost over the past 5 weeks. Think of that defense. It's going to be very similar to that, guys. We're going to get into their numbers and so much today. Guys, again, hang out. We got a lot to get into. Safety needs to step up. Tyrone is saying this. Also, Tyrone says our corners was fine. You got to be faster than the illness. That's what Tortilla is saying. He says you have to just you got to be faster than the illness. Just outrun the illness. You know what? That's good logic. Let's see. A lying tortilla, more like Jamal says. Uh, RB fasting has become more popular in recent times and has shown benefits. Its benefits it didn't before. I believe that's because of all the shit they put in our food. Absolutely, our food is probably so freaking unhealthy. It ain't even funny. Jamal says JPJ on Nico stop the run game and blitz Stroud. You know what? JPJ could certainly make a name for himself because again, it's on the biggest stage ever. It's the playoffs. If he can stop Nico, that's going to go big benefits to Tyrone's boy. Mark Malone need to jump on that out on that lead early. That one I'll believe when I see. How often does the Steelers jump out on leads early? But Mark Malone totally agree. I would love to see it. Would love to see it. Tortisa, they called me. What did they call it? On? Let me scroll here in a second. They called me Odell Beckham Jr. Or Max says, who is the Texans offenses? Who is the Texans offense is the most worrying? I think it's a receiver. I think it's the quarterback. Stroud's impressive. Stroud beat the Ravens 44-10 earlier in this year. Stroud knocked out the and the reason I'm saying that the Ravens, the Cleveland teams, because these are teams that are very similar to the Steelers in style. And I think that the Ravens knocked out Joe Flacco and the Browns. I don't recall, but I do know they beat up on the Ravens pretty bad earlier this year, 44-10. And again, similar styles, but I do think that we are built to be able to hang in there with the Ravens and get that win. Let's go right here. Vegas says Texans blitz 22% of the time, 17. But you know what? They're strong. Their blitz is strong. Their defense ain't no joke. They're going to bring it. And they know that, Aaron's back there and they're going to bring it. He's not mobile. He's a little older. He's a little older. But I think that they're going to bring it. I truly, honestly do until we can prove that we can stop it. Our young offensive line, they need a big day as well. Facts, JPJ on Collins. Vegas' fasting is popular due to food prices. You know what? That's a good point as well. Food prices are friggin' insane. Jamal says their O-line is 30th in protection, I believe. Steeler Freak says your body doesn't understand. There's a good available 24/7. Your body thinks it is still the caveman days when we went days without eating. Your body fat is insurance for those days with no food. That makes sense. Tyrone says, dude, JPJ ranked best with 95.3 and 95.3 ranking. That is awesome. He follows it up by saying, stop playing with my man. Jamal says, damn, and no Pro Bowl. That is insane. Jen, what's up? Always great seeing Jen. Jen, welcome back to the show. Hope everything is going well for you out in Wisconsin. Great seeing Jen on the board. Tortilla says, I'm always hungry. Yes, sir, I am as well. Black Magic. Jamal says, yeah, with death. Tyrone, it's BS, bro. Jamal, let's see. Vegas, Cam is the number one defensive line. I come on. In Vegas, and this is definitely something that I have an issue with. But as I said yesterday on the show, if he would come out and play every game the way he played last game, he could then be considered maybe one of the top people at his position. But Cam, he has his ups and downs. And yes, he had a good year last year with the Pro Bowl. This year, he's fair at best. And again, lately, he's out of his mind. He played him on that defense Sunday, him and Smitty. Guys were playing out of their mind. And I think if Cam could play the way he played Sunday night all year, he is one of the best defensive tackles. But the fact of the matter is he doesn't play like he played Sunday night all year. Think about it. He was chasing Derrick Henry on a 46-yard run and keeping up with him. Bring that energy every game. You know what I'm saying? Then you will be one of the top. Yinzer Joe, Steelers beat the Browns 23-9 the first meeting. The second, we didn't have DK. Texans defense is good, but their offense is mid-tier, almost lost to the Raiders. The Raiders game is up. But what was their situation, though? Were they resting? I don't know how that late game went. I did see that as well. But I didn't pay that much attention to Houston at the time. But Yinzer Joe said they looked horrible. So I'm going to take your word. Yinzer Joe, I have no reason not to. Merlin, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Merlin on the Merlin Ames on the terrible board. Merlin says this afternoon. Some big plays can happen if they blitz. Rodgers might be the best ever at beating the blitz. You know what? I agree. He gets that ball out fast. So, we got to take advantage of that blitz if they do bring it, for sure. RB says the most dangerous thing about Houston is their head coach isn't afraid of turnovers and wants to bring it all game. I like him. How could you not like him? Done a great job down there so far for them. They don't have interest in playing meat swords with the they don't have interest in playing meat swords with the other team in 5 minutes to go. Vegas says, why have a six-pack when you can have a party ball? That's right, baby. It's all about the party ball. Jen says, yeah, that's what I read, Jen. I am sorry to hear this. Jen says, my dad's not doing well, was in the hospital, and is now going to a nursing home. It's been sad. I'm sorry to hear that, Jen. I truly am. We did see, and that's why I didn't bother you. We did get your message on Discord, but things will look up. They always tend to look up. Let's see what I think I missed a couple here. Skiller Freak says this: the Texans will put the heat on Aaron Rodgers and play man on wide receivers. RB says this: six-packs are for scrawny guys and druggies. You're right. Not real men. Real men got the party ball. Let's see. Jamal says if they don't double DK, we're going to scorch them. Also following that by saying sorry to hear about your dad to Jen as well. Yeah, for sure, man. I hate hearing it. Vegas says maybe they will put Warren and Kenny G on the field at the same time more often. Tyrone says sorry to hear that. Jen, Steeler Freaks, I got furniture disease. My chest dropped down to my drawers. Good. Vegas, I'm sorry, Tyrone says I know how it'd be. Jamal A-Rod Jackson, when he was running on Sunday, you know what? He outran Lamar, didn't he? Statistic-wise, he had more rushing yards than Lamar. I was calling him A-Rod Jackson all day. Jen says, thank you, everybody. Mark Malone says, I'm okay with Cam saving some for the. Me too. And maybe if that's what they did, if that's the grand scheme of things, maybe it's a stroke of genius. Maybe they didn't give everything all season to save the energy because, again, our quarterback is 42. Cam is almost 37. TJ, we're not a young squad anymore. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe they said, you know what, we're good enough. Let's win the games that we need to get in the playoffs, and when we get in, we'll step up and bring it. Hopefully that is the case. Vegas says, sorry to hear that. Tyrone says, Cam been eating, bro? He has. No lie. No lie. Ever since last year, I think he's looking really good. And 2 or 3 years prior to that, Mike and I just went on and on and on about how disappointing he was. He wasn't that effective player that you want him to be, and he just wasn't. But you got to give him his credit, guys. He has been that player for the past year and a half. Mark Malone says we're going to need a little bit of that Watt power, though. We're going to need it all. Listen, it's the playoffs, guys. It's all hands on deck, right? If we can't bring that, we probably don't deserve to win. This is when you put it all on the line. You got to be able to go out and get it done. And, if you can't, the other team will advance and you won't. Steeler Freak says, I still look good when I stand on my hands. Stand on my hands. I literally would have to sit on my ass and put my feet under my hands to actually stand on my hands. Tyrone says, TJ will be more in shape this week. Watch Wreck the Game. I hope so, dude. I hope so. Again, all hands on deck. If everybody on this team steps up and plays their best, I do like our chances. Tortilla says, Steeler Freak going crazy. Jen says, on a funny note, my dad told me he is signing himself out of the nursing home, paying a stripper to service and take care of him. He's going on his own terms. I like that. I'm encouraged by that. I'd like to do that right now, as a matter of fact. On a funny note, of course. Jamal says this. He says Cam turned back the hands of time last game. I expect TJ. You know what, dude? You're right. Who the hell runs 45 yards down the sideline with Derrick Henry at that size? Come on. He's putting it all out there. You got to respect it. As I said, when they do, they deserve it, we give it. When they deserve shit, we give it. And right now, Cam Hayward's playing out of his mind. Best way to go, Jamal, of course, saying that to Jen. Yinzer Joe says Ryan, Texans are 9-5 at the point of the Raiders game. They had to win to get in. Okay, interesting. Then played the Colts, who fell apart, of course, along with the Chiefs. Barely got over the Chargers, who have injury concerns. It's encouraging. I didn't realize it was that at that point, so that's encouraging. John says this: the strippers will be cheaper than the nursing home. They will. It's true. And a lot funner, too. Tyrone, Highsmith, Watt, Herbig, Harmon, Hayward. Look at all them H's. I didn't even realize it until you typed it out like that. I never realized the H's that we have, the killer H's. Of course, Tortilla says if Mike T wins a playoff game, there better be strippers in the locker room. Tyrone says Patrick Queen got to be better. One tackle was BS guy. Yeah, you're right. You're right. PQ got to step it up. And I don't think PQ is actually as good as we thought he was going to be when we stole him from Baltimore. I think we were all expecting a little bit more. I'm not saying he's bad. I mean, he's a solid linebacker. He's doing his thing. But at the end of the day, I think we were all expecting a little bit more from PQ when he came. But you know what? If he steps up and does his thing, no complaints. Tortilla says female ones, Valdez Scantling don't count. Lindsey Ramsey will have a big. You know what he's due. Some of these guys, maybe they're due and they'll come out and do their thing. And Tater Tot, what's up, bro? Always great seeing. Sometimes seeing great. Sometimes great seeing Tater Tot on the terrible board. Just kidding. He says, "Woof woof." Houston, we have a problem. It's Pukesburg. It's Pittspuke. He says. Welcome back to the terrible board, Tater. As everyone rolls their eyes. Welcome back, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning. So much to get into today. Let's start with, but you know what? Ever since Tater's been here, we've been doing well, but except the Cleveland game. So I get it. We'll take it. We'll take whatever juju we can get. He didn't help because we were playing his team, but he still comes in, and he is. Tater Tot's still here too, Jamal. I can't believe it. I gotta give him respect for that. All right, guys, let's get into Baltimore just a bit. Again, we got to get into what the Steelers got going on moving forward. Also, guys, we're making that turn this week. We truly are. We're getting into Houston Texans this week. We're wrapping up Baltimore. I think in Baltimore would have been done yesterday, but there had been some things, of course, that had happened since the last time we have seen everybody, seen one another, guys. As John Harbaugh does get canned yesterday, the Baltimore Ravens does fire their head coach, John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh, let me find what I have. I have something here about John Harbaugh. I don't know. I don't know what I did with it. Somewhere I had his records the past couple of years. 3 years ago, he had like 13 wins. 2 years ago, he had like 12 wins. Last year, like 10 wins. I would love some 13-win seasons. I want 12 wins. But I'm just saying, this guy got fired. It has nothing to do with the guy. Can we all agree on that? It has nothing to do with any of the dumb things that people argue about a lot of the time. It's because he can't win the big game. This, in my opinion, is sometimes what it should be about. He has had a good record to start his career. It certainly slowed up a lot in the last part of his career. Very similar to our coach. And again, we're not going to get into firing our coach today. We have a big game coming up Monday, but just something to think about, guys, as we do move forward. Again, he didn't have the 500 record, which again is a little bit overrated in my opinion, because that means you just did better than not being just not doing good enough. But anyway, he's a coach that's very similar. The situation's similar. The organizations are similar. Again, John Harbaugh does get fired yesterday from the Baltimore Ravens after they did lose to Pittsburgh on Sunday night in the game that would have sent them to the playoffs. And the Pittsburgh Steelers get in anyway, or they get in instead. But guys, again, John Harbaugh has been fired from the Baltimore Ravens. We'll see how that plays out. Now, that's two teams in the division that are going to be looking for head coaches, as Kevin Stefanski just the day before gets canned in Cleveland. And then yesterday, John Harbaugh does get canned in Baltimore. So just very interesting, guys, because, and again, the only reason we're talking about it is because we're in a similar situation here. That's, you know what I'm saying? We're very, very similar situation, very similar organization, very similar, a lot of things between the two. So again, that's why I did want to talk about that. A couple more things about the Baltimore game that I do want to get into as well. Of course, it's confirmed the Boswell kick was partially blocked at the end of that game. So again, a lot of talk about that over the past couple of days on the missed extra point is what it was. It was partially blocked. That didn't allow the Steelers to extend their lead to 3 points. and allowed to keep the Ravens alive to have the possible win, where their field goal kicker missed as well, of course. And I do want to say this. I've been reading that a lot of Pittsburgh fans and people that are affiliated with the Steelers, they are starting to donate to Tyler Loop's favorite charity. Maybe at first kind of to be funny, because thank you for helping us win. But on the other hand, maybe all the abuse the guy's taken, of course, getting death threats, his fiance, family, this, that, and the other thing on social media. So maybe people are just stepping it up to help the guy out, get the guy back up to probably not wanting to hang himself. But that's what's going on in Baltimore. I'm glad we're in Pittsburgh. Tater says Buckeyes number. I never heard of them. What is that? Is that cricket? What else? The Baltimore game. Baltimore. Jerome Bettis makes this comment about the crowd. You recall yesterday we talked about TJ Watt saying it was the best environment I've ever seen at Acrisure Stadium on Sunday night. The best. It was as loud as I've ever seen. The crowd was out of their mind. It was a playoff environment. Jerome Bettis comes out yesterday and says, I thought that the crowd was a bit iffy. And that was the word that he used, was a bit iffy. Of course, I wasn't in the stadium, and I don't know, but it seemed pretty loud. It seemed pretty live. But Jerome Bettis said the crowd was a bit iffy. So I don't know if anybody was down at the game on Sunday. Let me know what you think. Again, TJ said it was the best environment ever. JB, I mean, come on, two greats, said the crowd was a bit iffy. So I don't know. I wasn't there, unfortunately, but that is what is being said. Another thing, two more things about Baltimore, and we're going to move on. We're going to shut the door on them for the year. Then they're done. We're never going to talk about them again because they're out of the playoffs. There's no reason to talk about this team. Guys, the Ravens, a lot of people making a bunch of stink about this team. If this team could just get into the playoffs, they might be able to run it. If this team could just beat the Steelers, if this team beats the Steelers Sunday, they have a chance to win it all. The Steelers win. No, the Steelers, I don't know if they can win a playoff game. Bro, we just beat that team twice. 10 of the last 12 games. How are you going to say that if Baltimore gets in, they could run it? But if the team that beats them 10 of the last 12 games gets in, they're probably going to lose. So again, yesterday somebody did bring up that negativity from the media. It continues. It'll never change. But I'm certainly just making a point to talk about it because you are going to hear from everybody, their mothers. Even Tater Tot on the Turbo Board is going to even give you their opinion here over these next few days, getting ready to head into that playoff game. But again, the Baltimore Ravens, guys, they could have made a run. They could have won a championship. But the team that beat them twice this year, knocked them out of the playoffs in 10 of the last 12 games. They're probably going to get eliminated, though. So, again, watch that sneaky media. You got to watch the sneaky media when it comes down to it. A couple more things. What else do I got? What I did yesterday is I actually went in and watched the game for the second time, finally. I didn't get a chance to do it being a late game, and I wasn't happy about it because I don't get as much out of it if I don't watch it the second time, because the first time you're watching it on nerves. The second time, especially when you win, you watch it a little bit differently, and that's kind of what happened. I did get in, and I do have some notes on this particular game from Sunday night. It went like this. These are the notes that I have. My notes on the game was this after watching it. Watching the first 2-3 drives, I thought it was going to be another, what people were calling a Tomlin special. They came out, they moved the ball, they moved it relatively easy. Barring a penalty, 46-yard run by Derrick Henry on the first play of the game. But the Steelers turned it around. And as somebody on the board said yesterday, it seems like we need to warm up. We need to scope out the other team for about a quarter and a half before we actually start playing good. So this is a couple things that I did notice and observe from watching the game for the second time yesterday, guys. In the first quarter, there was the fourth down touchdown pass. About 30 yards on it was fourth down. They were just in between that field. They were in that juicy part of the field where you probably can't make the field goal. It's probably a little too close to punt, but it was fourth down, and they scored on a 30-yard touchdown pass. Fourth down, you got to get off the field, guys, for one. For two, in the first quarter, what else did I got out of it? Our tush push. on fourth down and like 33, it seemed like. How are we going to go for it on fourth down when you have 2 yards or whatever it was? We turned the ball over on downs on that particular drive. But again, it seemed like it was fourth and 100, and they tried to push. These kind of things have to stop. They have to change. Going into the playoffs, guys, you're not going to be able to take the shots on fourth down and just and be okay. You're not. You're not. You have to play smart football. You got to get the points when you can get them, and you got to punt the ball away, as the recently fired Coach Harbaugh said regarding the game the other day. In these kind of games, big games, punts are a good thing. You know, you play the field position game, it helps you. You don't want to give the ball over in your own territory for sure. And again, if you're in an area where you could get points, certainly take the points, guys. There's a comment that I do have about this here later on in what I'm about to say, as we are wrapping up the Ravens, if you will. In the second quarter, what did we get? I noticed that Smitty was on a mission. He sure was. Smitty and Cam were both on a mission. Smitty was all over the place. Alex Highsmith, he's another one. A lot of injuries. I kind of get up and down with him. But you got to say the last 2 games, he certainly has brought it. This I'm going to tie into something else, so I'm not going to talk about it just yet. How about this play, guys? How about fourth down at the end of the first half, sending all your blockers to the right and pitching it out to the left to Gainwell on that play? Again, these are things you have to get the points. For one, it was a terrible play call. I would want my guy to be behind blockers to begin with. But for 2, take the points. Again, that game was too important to not take points, in my opinion. If it takes you 15 field goals to win, by all means, take the 15 field goals if you can get them. More points than the other team is how you win. Again, going for it on 4th and 50 on a push in your own end, and also this play to end the second half or the first half. Again, pitching out to the left, all blockers right. I think everybody knows the play I'm talking about. A couple more things here about this game. All right, just 2 more things, and then we'll wrap up the Ravens. How's that sound? I liked Mike Tomlin showing life on the sideline. Did anybody else get excited to see our head coach actually look alive? Did anybody else get excited to see him running up and down the sideline, excited, yelling, grabbing heads, grabbing helmets, smacking pads? I did. Because that gets you fired up. I loved it. The second half of this game, when it comes down to it, your coach was a madman. Sometimes you got to be a madman. You have to. Because you got guys out there putting their body on the lines, being madmen at full speed against top-class athletes. You got to be a madman. We can't all just sit around and go, okay, guys, well, this is what you got to be a fucking nut to play this game. And to get these guys ready to do their thing against the other guys, sometimes you got to be a nut. And I loved what Coach Tomlin brought to the table in the second half of that game on Sunday night. Loved it. And if he comes out with that energy, I think his team is going to play well moving forward again, guys, because they always seem kind of stale and kind of like what he gives off. That energy was contagious. I loved what he did on Sunday night. Kudos to Coach Tomlin. I'm sorry, Coach Cower. Yeah, there we go. Wait, not to get everybody all fired up, but come on, how can you not love what you've seen from Coach on Sunday night? Finally, my last thing about Baltimore, we are closing the door on these shitbirds. My last thing about Baltimore is this. What's up with the leggings? Bruh, stop wearing chicks' pants. Those are the stupidest looking uniforms, and I don't want to see guys running around in leggings for 3 hours every time we play Baltimore. The black, nothing else, just legging-looking pants on a bunch of overgrown athletic men. Not what I tune in for. Again, guys, put some freaking pants on, in my opinion, if you are Baltimore. Get some real football pants. The leggings got to go. They got to go. Like James Franco said on This is the end. When Danny McBride was eating all the food, he got to go. Got to go. Them pants brought a leggings. Just say no to leggings, Jamal. I'm watching something. Why is not everybody making fun of this? This fucking football team is wearing leggings, for Christ's sakes. Guys, so that's it. We're closing the door on the Baltimore Ravens. They're done. They're done as they are in the real world as they head back to the couch to get ready for the playoffs to watch us play this weekend, guys. Baltimore Ravens, they're done. Close the door on them. That's it. Let's move forward. A lot of things to get into today, guys. We're going to get into we're going to get into a lot of Houston Texans talk. Again, guys, this is the week to smear the steer, if you will. Smear the steer. I like that term. I'm seeing that. And if you played football as a kid, you probably get that take. Smear the steer. I think it's funny, of course, playing the Houston Texans, guys. Big game. It's a big game. Let's get into it. I'm going to get into some Texan statistics here shortly, see where they finished, see what they look like offensively and defensively. We did get into the temperatures to start the show off a little bit today. And I did mention earlier, I think that the Steelers match up really well with the Houston Texans. I really do feel that we match up well with them. And do they have things that could give us problems? Yes. They would be a classic AFC North showdown game if they were in our division. They got the defense. Their offense is kind of crazy, but just good enough. They got a nice coach. So, again, I think this is a winnable game for the Steelers. We'll see if we can bring it together, guys. Again, Houston is 0-6. 0-6 in the playoffs on the road in their history. So, if history continues, they haven't won on the road ever in the playoffs. We haven't lost on Monday Night Football since 1992. So unless the football gods turn around and F us this week, again, a lot of things going in our favor. And one other thing we do want to say, we talked a lot about the priest yesterday and seeing a lot of things, a lot of jokes. I think it's highly entertaining. One other thing we want to mention as well, the Steelers always have good years on the zeros. Super Bowl 10, they won the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 30, they went to the Super Bowl and lost. Super Bowl 40, they went to the Super Bowl and won. Well, when you're looking at zeros, this is the 50-year anniversary of the terrible towel. 50 years. Talking a little bit of magic. This field goal kicker kicking the ball, us winning 4 of the last 5 games. Kind of a difference from the last few years in that final stretch. It is the 50-year anniversary of the terrible towel, guys. So don't rule that out. Don't rule it out. 50 years. I'm just saying. Let's see how this thing plays out. Let me get into a few of these Houston stats. Yeah, I'll do that. Let me talk about a couple things here first, real quick. I seen a puck go by on the board, and I'm going to get to the board here real quick. Anybody see this? Aaron Rodgers hasn't been intercepted in 7 games. I did catch it on the board. Give credit to whoever did say it. I will get back to them in just a moment when I get on it. But, guys, Aaron Rodgers hasn't thrown an interception in 7 games. And you want to hear how interesting and rare it is and how often? Listen to this. He hasn't thrown an interception in 7 games. That's the longest active streak in the NFL by a starter. And also, it's the second longest by any quarterback this season. Just interesting, guys. I don't want to curse him. But just saying, that's, again, 7 games since he threw a pick. And we are playing a good defense. So I'm not going to – Estad, you were right. The Texans defense is nasty. It is nasty. But that is the case, guys. Aaron Rodgers, again, 7 games, no interceptions. All right, here's a couple more. And then we're going to get into the Texans. A couple more things. Darryl Porter Jr. was picked up by Buffalo off the practice squad, guys. If you like Darryl Porter Jr., of course, he was here in the secondary for us. Had him on the practice squad. The Buffalo Bills did pluck him. So if you like, Darryl Porter Jr., he is gone. He did get picked up by Buffalo. this is something that we said here on the show. And again, we're just talking about fate and the terrible towel and the years with the zeros and the Super Bowl 10, the win, Super Bowl 30, they made it, Super Bowl 40, they won. Charlie Batch even says this. I seen this on social media. Charlie Batch says, this team reminds me a lot of that 05 team. Not the team in a sense. Now, before you jump on me, but the way that season turned out, it wasn't, it was supposed to be as good as it was. We had to fight. We had to win the last 4 games of the year just to qualify as the 6th seed. We won the games when they mattered. We had one of the worst offensive lines in the league that year. And they made that run. And again, Charlie, who's also on this football, his autograph as well, he said that it seems to him very similar. And we've been saying that on this show. It seems very similar to the 04, 05, I'm sorry, the 05, 06 run, which again, we played the NFC North that year. Super Bowl 30 in 1995, 96, we played the NFC North that year. This year, we played the NFC North that year. So again, maybe, just maybe, the football gods are shining down on us, smiling down on us. I don't know. I don't know if they are, but again, guys, a lot of things. Taking little pieces and trying to put together a picture. Look good. But again, Houston is not a team that's going to roll over. They're not going to roll over. This team will beat the shit out of you if they can with that defense. And, so again, you can't look past Houston, the biggest game of the year by far. And I don't think anybody could deny that, guys. So let's get into some Houston Texans guys. You know what? I'm going to jump back on the board before we do it. Before we officially make the move and move forward. And no more Ravens talk. That's behind us. It is hump day. We're just a few days out from the weekend. A lot of playoff action this weekend. And, of course, the Steelers play Monday night. But the Ravens, they're done. Say bye to the Ravens, everybody. Bye, Ravens. They're out. Guys, let me jump back on the board. I don't want to miss anybody today, guys. A lot of awesome messages. I'm catching them as they're going. Just let me get back here. I think I'm in the right general area. All right, here we go. I know we at least made it this far. Armac says this. Caleb Downs declaring for the draft. Jamal says ain't been funny since you should up with Izzy and the wig. Tortilla now, that's a stretch. So that's where I'm at, guys. That is the general area. I'm gonna go right here. Let's start right here. Bingo says this. Cleveland's rationale: we beat Pittsburgh once, and they're in the playoffs, so it's like we could be the playoffs too, right? Eyes crossed. Mel Brooks, governor face, love it. That's a game ball comment. Jamal says, yeah, Little follows it up by saying, just wanted to bring that up. Tyrone says JPJ will hold Collins 50 yards or low. If that happens, it's huge. And it ain't going to be Collins that kills us. It's going to be some white tight end that you never heard of who played literally 4 minutes in his whole career. That's going to be the guy that catches the touchdown to beat. That's the way that it plays out. It just is. Steeler Freak says JH has more playoff success. Harbaugh has more success than Tomlin, 13-11. Tomlin, 8-11, plus more playoff success lately. Yinzer Joe says this. I would have bet money that the first AFC coach to get fired would be Zach Taylor. Why are they holding on to this guy? You're right. As John Harbaugh, the Super Bowl winner, Kevin Stefanski, the former coach of the year, Mike Tomlin, with all the accolades. How is Zach Taylor the only one that's job is not at risk? I don't know, but that is a very good point. Yinzer Joe Vegas says somebody told Luke that he hopes he gets married without a prenup and his wife leaves him and takes everything. It's rough, man. It's rough to blow a season. Jen says this: two new coaches this year have to play into the Steelers' favor. And did you see the? Yes, we have a very favorable schedule, both South divisions. However, we get 3 first place teams. We have the first place schedule, which is our division, the NFC South, the AFC South, the Broncos, the the Philadelphia Eagles, and then also the Patriots. That's who I'm forgetting, the Patriots. So it's our division, AFC South, no, NFC South, Patriots, Broncos, Eagles. I think with the exception of those 3 games, I think all of those games are certainly winnable. As the AFC South, it's crazy that we play Houston. We're gonna see them again next year, but a lot of times this plays out. If I don't know, and again, it's not a 100%, but how many times have you seen somebody beat somebody in the playoffs and then them lose to them the next year in the regular season? But again, generally AFC South weak, NFC South weak. We'll take it. Joe, I'm glad Tyrone says Black Magic. Jamal says this Vegas on one today. RMAX says it was like the Bengals game I was at in terms of the atmosphere, not circumstance. Gotcha. Were you down in RMAX? That's right. You did go, didn't you? Jamal says they're hyping up the Steelers from what I've seen. I don't like the hype. No need to put the chip on the Texans. I agree. I don't want to piss these guys off. A team with a defense is a dangerous team. It really is. You don't want to piss these guys off. Jamal says, I think Tater Tot is a Steeler fan. Otherwise, what's he doing? Vegas says Tater Tot is Roman Wilson. Steeler Freak says Ravens are not that good. They're not that good this year. You're right. And again, let me finish your comment. You're right. Ravens are not that good this year. The median fans believe they will win with Jackson every year. And exactly. And what has Jackson actually won? Nothing. That's like Kevin Stefanski being the coach of the year for in Cleveland. It's a joke. I'm not going to say Lamar is a joke. I thought he was a lot more valuable earlier in his career. As he ages, as injuries mount, he's not the same guy. But I think his window closed. I truly do. To think that Ravens team is going to win anytime soon is crazy. I don't think they're a good team at all. Just Learning says this. Work time, bros. Talk to you later. All right, my man. Have a great day at work. Knock it out. Jamal says the Ravens were good. Lamar was just forced to come back too. And that was, that could be it too. It's playoffs. All hands on board. All hands on deck. Get in here. I want to play. I want to do this. Tyrone, my keys to victory offense, run the ball good on third downs, get 4 involved early and spread the ball. Defense D-line pressure, quarterback stop, the run, JPJ and Collins, and 1 turnover max. The pressure, we got to be able, and that's the other thing too, handling, getting pressure on Stroud, getting in his shit, and getting pressure a lot of times this season was a struggle for us. So we got to be able to get in his face, keep him contained as well, and then go from there. But we have to be able to start getting pressure on some teams. Tortilla says my key to victories are beer and cheeseburgers. You're right. Everybody wins. Vegas says the Hayward heave needs some work. Steeler Freak says they need the lead the moment, and Steeler fans will take care of the rest. Stroud has the ability to choke. He does. I know, but he's good. He is good too. Yinzer Joe, Ryan, think about it. How many times have you seen Peyton Wilson out there? He's used more on pass coverage. Malik Harrison was in a lot because they were sold out on the run. Absolutely, you're right. Tortilla says this. That was an Arthur Smith play if I've ever seen. Tyrone, Deshaun Elliott just posted a pic and said, what's going on with Elliott? How's his situation going? I haven't heard about. I haven't thought of his name in a couple of weeks. Matter of fact, we talked about him a couple of weeks ago. But anybody know what's going on with Deshaun? Tyrone says this to be continued. Is he coming back? Right? That's what the TBC. I got you. All right. So there you go. Deshaun Elliott just posted a picture and said to be continued. ... Jamal says someone check on GP. Tater says enjoy Malik Willis next season when Grandpa. You know what? We don't want Malik Willis. There's a lot of options out there. There really are. Even this Joe Burrow talk is kind of intriguing, and I don't want him because he's made of glass. But again, still there's options out there, guys. We just can't sit on our hands and let it go. If we're going to decide to hit the draft and do it right, do it right. You can't piss around like they did and wait till there's nothing left. Sam Darnold would have been a great pickup for from last year. The only quarterback ever, second quarterback ever in NFL history that had back-to-back 14-win seasons. That's not a bad quarterback. So again, guys did slip through our fingers last year. They have to hit it this year. They got to hit their target this year. Otherwise, this can's just kick down the road. Otherwise, if they make that move, if they get their franchise quarterback one way or the other, that's a huge step in the right direction. And I think we start improving as early as next year. I do. There's just no confidence in the offense, and there's no identity. Get your guy. You got a lot of other good things in place now. It's great time to get your guy. Bingo says end of the half, getting the ball in the third. Yeah, points are the way to go. I appreciate being aggressive, but that was kind of okay. So that was the comment was made. Mike Tomlin made a comment about that particular play about running on fourth down to the left. In the comment that he made, it was something I swore I had it. Matter of fact, I might have threw it on that paper I threw across the room. But he said something along the lines of this. He'd said, when he was asked about that play, he said, well, yeah, if you want to win big games, you got to be aggressive. Or if you want to win big games, you got to play good football or smart football. And it was the total opposite of taking the points and going into the locker room with extra points. So again, sometimes, and I don't know if it's just coach, it seems to go be across the whole coaching staff sometimes, just some of the mindset, some of the thought process. In my opinion, again, big games like this, points at a premium, get the points. You don't want to leave them out there, especially against a team that has a defense like Houston. It's going to be very similar to Cleveland, guys. It's going to be very similar to Cleveland. But remember, when we played Cleveland last time, DK Metcalf had a pretty damn big game the first time around. 7 catches, 14 yards, something like this. So again, we match up well when we're healthy and we get our thing going. But that was kind of dumb. Okay. Jamal says this Herbig almost got. Did you see that? That's what I'm saying, man. Didn't you love seeing Coach like that? Wouldn't you love to see Coach do that more? Again, just stop being a bump on the log, dude. Get in there. Get excitable. Let people see you have emotions. Come on, you're human. Maybe people, come on. Vegas says, I hope Aaron, KG, and Cam all play next year. Jamal says our defense not being able to close out is absolutely is concerning. But Jamal, in their defense, and I only want to say this because it's going on around the league, nobody's defense is really closing anybody out. Every game seems to come down to the last drive. Even these teams that have really good defenses, your Denvers and your Houstons, a lot of these games come down to that last drive. So whatever that's about, I don't know. But nobody really closes teams out good anymore. Again, what that's all about, I'm not sure, but just an observation that I had made. Aaron hasn't thrown an interception in 2 months. That's true. 7 games. Jamal says Aaron thanked Mike T for bringing. He did. Very excited. And again, how can you not be happy? At first, I thought it was going to be a circus. It's been anything from we wouldn't be in the playoffs right now if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers. If we would have had to go with the Mason or whatever the other situations we had going on. Aaron Rodgers was a good move. You've got to admit, for what it is. This is a crazy year. It's kind of an oddball year, and we'll see what we can do with it. We don't have our franchise this. We don't have that. We still need a receiver, blah, 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 blah. But for what it was, you got to be thankful for what he was been able to come in and bring to this team with his leadership and just his know-how and things that he does. He's been there, done that many, many a times. Jamal says, I'm sorry, Vegas, Aaron hasn't thrown. Gotcha. We did get that one. Tyrone, 9 coaches have been fired after facing Mike Tomlin. Jamal says the GOAT. Coach T putting people on unemployment. I don't know if that's a good thing, though. When people are like, you lost to Mike Tomlin, we got to fire your ass. I'm just saying. Jamal, he says, I hate them leggings. They have purple leggings too. I don't know if you've ever seen them ones. It's just as gross. If you ever want to see a man's ass crack, turn into a Ravens game. I mean, these leggings, they get pulled down when these guys when they move. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. Bunch of guzzlers. Mark Malone says, Vegas says, are you feeling sexually harassed by you do? I do. I feel sexually harassed by their outfit. I'm offended. Let's see. A-Rod is the GOAT, Jamal says. He also says, along with Mike T, we got to win. Dude, if we can win it all for Mike T, I'm all in. If they do it, let's do it. I don't want to complain about our coach. I don't want to have I don't want our coach to be fired. I want to win. I think that I think it's pretty understandable. I don't think it's out of the question. Tyrone says, "Told you, A-Rod ain't washed." He had the emotions, bro. The emotions were fantastic. I love to see it, and the crowd loves to see it. And other teams don't want to see that. They don't want to see us being excitable. And when your guy's standing there, just again, show some life, dude. That's all. It's just fun, right? You have one of the best jobs in the world. It could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse, right? Everybody knows somebody in their life. Maybe somebody even tuning in. Maybe our lives are a lot worse. Couldn't we, bro, cheer up a little bit. Vegas says this say a lot about your neighborhood. Did you play Kill the Man or Smear the Queer? And for the lack of a better term, it was Smear the Queer that we did play, and that's why that's where the humor is coming from that. But I did see Smear the Steer. Smear the Steer. But again, if that's your thing, there's nothing wrong with it. Live your life, everybody. Let's move on. Tater says, my uncle went to Pittsburgh one time. He came back. He was never the same. Poor bastard. He probably became a Steeler fan and became a winner. Would be what I would imagine. What I would take from that comment is that. So Steeler Freak says, having Rodgers' vet presence should make a difference. Again, absolutely. Jamal, you're right. Never heard of Kill the Man. I never heard that one. Did anybody see yes, the priest, the terrible towel, everything. We had the ghost of Myron Cope was here last week. It all played into it. It had nothing to do with the Steelers. All these things got that game won on Sunday night. Jamal said that's some weird shit. Also, as Dad says, let's go Steelers. I love it. And I love when people spell it Stillers. That you can't get any more Pittsburgh than that. That's a game ball comment right there. Tortilla says, can Father Max catch? Can Father Max play wide receiver too? Let's see, Tyrone. How I know he was going to say that. Vegas says Muth has the most tenure of all the players we drafted on. Again, if we've had a healthy quarterback situation on his team over the past 5 years, Muth, he'd be a lot better. He really would. He started his career great. His first 2 or 3 seasons, he had more catches than any other Pittsburgh tight end at that point in their career. If it would have been a healthy offense over the past 5 years, I think Muth would have a great career. I truly, honestly do believe that. Texans D is nasty. No two ways about that. No two ways about that. That is why they're 12-5. Well, that in a terrible division, but 12-5, and we're only 2 games behind that. So we'll take it. Jamal said, Dad, dude, get the name right. It's not Brewery. Vegas says, like 220 passes without an interception. It's amazing. Dad, the Steelers are in Yinzer talk. That's Steelers in Yinzer talk. Absolutely. Steelers, you got to, for sure. that definitely gets you a vote for the MV or for the game ball for sure. Jamal says, LOL, laugh my ass off. That's what that is. Bingo. Bingo says almost as many as the Jets. D Vegas. Again, yesterday, guys, we did say, if you missed this, the Jets, no interceptions all year long. It's never been done. Not even by the Browns, who went 0-16. Not even by the Detroit Lions, who went 0-16. The New York Jets didn't get 1 interception all season. That's incredible. Especially with a guy like Sauce up there, right? Of course, everything changed for them, but early in the season, no interceptions. We'll go right here. Steeler Freak says intercept INTs, H, Streaky, and Leak and Lucky. Look at Jackson's last game. That wasn't on them, but he bought it on the stats. As Dad's trying to get punched in the head by DK. It wasn't this what that idiot was calling? Wasn't he calling him by his full name? On the board, Jamal says he owes us. Tyrone says he better cook Stingley Jr. Vegas says the entire Jets defensive staff should be fired. 0 interceptions. That's crazy work, bro. Again, it never happened. That's how bad that is. It literally never happened. Nobody's ever gone through an entire season and has not forced an interception. It's unbelievable. Dad, let's see if we ease into the game the way Tomlin loves to. More than likely, I gotta be honest. A lot of people's talking about get that lead early. I can't imagine under any circumstance how we get the lead early. I just can't. I just can't. I hope I'm wrong. Again, a lot of times I do hope I'm wrong, and this is one of them. But I can't imagine how we come out early in this game and get that lead early. It's very unlike us. I'm not saying we're not going to win. I do think we're going to win. I think we have a good chance that we match up well. But come on, what's it going to take for the Steelers to come out and do something they haven't done in seasons with a strong start? Jamal says everyone needs to show up in the up in blue wigs to remind DK he almost lost $40 million. Wouldn't that be crazy? 50,000, 60,000 people showing up in blue wigs. Bingo says, are you wearing a blue wig, Dad? Dad says, so has Harbaugh signed with the Giants yet? No, but I do know, again, seven teams within 45 minutes of him being canned did reach out. And again, these are why, again, I'm not, if Tomlin does split ways eventually, it's not going to happen this year. And again, I explained why yesterday, but he's not going to have any problem. He's going to get a job in a heartbeat. It's just not where we're at right now, unless he it turns things around. And what if we get blown out in the playoff game that we have, as we have in the past 7 years, or how many ever times we made it and lost? So this narrative could change really quick, guys. It really can. But we're not going to even think about that right now. There's no reason to think about that, guys. This hump day on a playoff game week. Of course, we have to wait till Monday for our game, but albeit I like it. I'd rather sit around and watch all the other games, because here's the thing. Let's say we lose. And again, I don't think we are, but just hypothetically, if we lose early on a Saturday, I ain't trying to watch football the rest of the weekend. I am not. I don't give a shit what this team does if my team's not in it. So again, this gives us an opportunity to just get acclimated in the playoffs with the teams that are there, see what they got, watch them teams play out, and then we get this win, then we can celebrate and get ready for the next round next week. But we'll take it. We'll take it. Metcalf should be in the pen. Tater being in the pen. Come on, a guy who literally took a helmet off of a man and assaulted him with it. That guy should not have any records. He should be in a pen because, again, that was a blatant crime. But we're not going to talk about that because, again, I don't care about Smiles Carrot. Let's move on. Dad says this. He will learn. DK will love to learn his real name. Tyrone, bye-bye, rat birds. They gone. They gone. Nevermore. Right? Isn't that what that dumb parrot said over in Edgar Allan Poe's poems, whatever the hell he thought he wrote back in the day? I don't know. But nevermore is my theme for New England with Baltimore right now. Mike says that Daddy prefers being called by his real name and not his nickname. Ooga Booga Tortilla says, Dylan, I do want to say welcome to the show, Dylan Green on the terrible board. Great to have you on this Wednesday installment of the Two Dum Yinzers. He says we cannot, and I agree with him 100%. We cannot have communication breakdowns on D. This defense got to be ready to play. This is the playoffs. If you can't step up and get ready to play that level, you don't deserve to win. That's just playoffs are a short life. There's a short shelf life on the playoffs. You either get it together and win, or you don't, and you go home. It's very, very basic, very to the point. As Dad said, that doesn't make sense. Also, as Dad says, anyway, will the Steelers let Tomlin go if they get blown out? That's what I'm saying. Tuesday's show could be a very different show. I don't want it. I don't think most people don't want it. We want to be get ready for the Broncos or whoever the hell we'd be playing next. But again, it could change really quick, guys. I hope that's not the case. I think that we're going to win. I think that we're going to win, my personal opinion. But a lot of things have to happen. You got to go out and play this game and play it good and play the best game you played all year. You do. You got to play better than you played all year if you want to win this football game. Dylan also goes on to say, I like the Steelers going to the AFC Championship game if we win Monday. It might even be at home. You never know. You never know. You're right. I mean, come on. It's down the road a ways, and a few things has to happen for that to happen. But that would be nice. Tyrone says, give Warren Gainwell the motherfucking game ball. Also, Burrow likes Taylor. Maybe. Tortilla says the Bengals can't afford to pay a new coach. The Bengals can't afford to pay anything right now. They got a mess again. And that's why again, you really have to look at the Joe Burrow situation wisely before, like I said, even if you want to entertain the thought of him coming here, there's a lot that goes into that. The guy is going to cost a lot of money. We would have to work on that if that was going to be the case. Vegas says they had 16 games, they're in a playoff spot, blew it. It can't blame. You're right. And as I said yesterday, Vegas, it took us every damn second of the season to clinch the playoffs, right? We had to play every single second of the playoffs to get of the season to get into the playoffs. So you're right. One kick isn't what did it to you. You starting 1-5 did it to you. Come on. We have seven losses on the season. The Ravens had 5 losses when they had 1 win. That's what did it to you. It is what it is. Dylan says Patriots will be this year's version of the Commanders. I hope you're right. And if that's the case, I want to play them in the AFC Championship. Because if they're the Commanders, that means they lose that game. Jamal says Warren could have won MVP, in my opinion. He did win the team MVP. Or no, sorry, Gainwell did. But Warren could have as well. Dude, Warren's a monster. Like I said, I went back and I did watch the game for the second time last night. And if you're not impressed watching Jalen Warren run the football, you're out of your mind. He's underrated because the league don't talk about him, and he's not one of the big names. Somber, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Somber on the terrible board. He says A-Rod is going to see that schedule and want to come back, especially if he has any part in the draft. That's what I'm saying, guys. There is so much that's going to happen. There is so much that's going to happen, guys, moving forward, and we're here for it. We will be here for every step of the way. Mark Malone got to have DK and Calvin Austin the third break off 1 or 2 to the house. We're going to need we're going to need the offense to actually produce a big play here and there for sure. And against that defense, it's not going to be easy. Will not be easy. Armac says, yeah, we play the NFC South, right? We do. They barely put a team in the playoffs with a winning record. So, I love playing the NFC South. You get the Falcons, you get the Saints. Tampa Bay, obviously not as good as I thought they were. Not making the playoffs underneath Carolina. And then again, the AFC South, the Titans, they'll probably get a little bit better under their new quarterback. But again, the Titans, the Colts, they that team fell apart. We'll learn a little bit more about Jacksonville and Houston here in January, no doubt about that. So let's move on here. S-Dad says, I wish Washington didn't get hurt for our full O lineup can do some damage. I agree. I would love to have Darnell Washington available in the playoffs. Huge loss by not having him. It truly is. The guy's a freak of nature. He's like when you create a guy on Madden and you make him and you just up everything. The biggest size, the fastest speed. And again, for that guy, it's not that fast. The biggest size, the strongest guy, the this and that. That was Darnell Washington. Nobody wants to get in front of that guy. Nobody, especially in this cold weather. We lost a big one with him breaking his arm and being out. Trap game for Houston. S-Dad says, hope it's nice and cold. You know what, S-Dad? We did talk about that a little bit. It's going to be roughly 30 degrees at game time. Temperature 28 degrees, moderate winds, no significant elements expected. But again, Houston's coming from 80-degree days. They're getting average 80-degree days down to 70 to 68 to 70 degrees at night. So again, if you want the weather to play a role, I would have loved to see it be a little bit more extreme. But you know what? We're just going to have to roll with this and see if it works in our favor. S-Dad says maybe some flurries by the fourth quarter. Also, Dylan says it's all up to our defense. You're right. Our defense can't go up and piss around. They got to play the best game that they played all year. It's the playoffs. Everybody else is going to step it up. We have to step it up too. Mark Malone says, I'm not sure if Elliott even had surgery. Dum Yinzers says, Mike says, pretty sure he's out for the year. I don't remember. It's been such a long time. John says the Ravens game was a classic. Jackson He was a ghost for 3 quarters. He had 3 great passes because of broken coverages, and his ability to escape those plays weren't quarterback plays. They were great athlete ones. That's not a bad point, John. Well worded, and certainly certainly a game ball candidate. Either Joe says GP board just checking in on his ex. Yeah, how's that great? How's that grass down there? Is it a lot greener? I don't know if you can tell when you're sitting on the couch. Tortilla says back-to-back 14-win seasons on a different team. You're right. And then one of them was the Minnesota Vikings. Talking about Sam Darnold, of course. The Vikings. And Seattle, for that matter. They're really good. Seattle's the number 1 seed over the AFC. So Sam Darnold's doing something right. Mark Malone, get Mac Jones and have him fight it out with Magnum Howard in a late draft pick. Yeah, you've been on that Mac Jones. I do acknowledge that. Tortilla says, "Hey, if we can protect a 42-year-old quarterback, I think we could protect Burrow." Dude, if Burrow could stay healthy, Burrow is amazing. And people are going to argue because he hasn't stayed healthy and they haven't seen the full ability of what the guy has. Dude, he took the Bengals to the Super Bowl in his first couple of seasons. I don't remember what season it was to him, but come on, he took the Bengals to the Super Bowl. I think he threw like 1 million touchdowns in the national championship game at LSU. Joe Burrow, again, legit. His skills are legit. Staying healthy has been a problem for him. But again, if our line could protect him, you're right. It's a whole different story. Mark Malone, Burrow can't move as well as 42-year-old Rodgers, but the guy could throw the football like I've never seen. I've never seen anything like it. He's got something up there. Somber says, Ty Simpson is an idiot. I swear if the Steelers draft that clown, I'm going to lose my shit. Jamal says, draft Chambliss and let him sit behind Rodgers for a year. Tyrone says, I don't know. I'm just saying he did just post some. We'll see. Vegas has 29 sacks this year on Rodgers, and several of them were on him, so it wasn't too bad, especially after the first game. You're right. Early it was bad. It was real rough. I thought we're not going to be able to get it together this year. But the offensive line and a lot of schemes and blocking schemes, they've improved. You got to agree. You got to agree on that. Tyrone says, Somber, don't bring it into existence. Let's see. I'm just trying to go back. Okay, on that Ty Simpson comment. Right here, Armax says Somber, Ty or John Mateer. Steeler Freak says, whomever the quarterback will be, it will be the best, worst option. The good news is the Steelers need more than a year to be Super Bowl ready, so there is time and no need to panic and make a desperate move. Dylan says this, we have to defend the quick passes. You ain't kidding. One thing that we just don't do well. Guys in the flat, guys on screens. Man, some teams, Houston's a good example. They identify that quick and they're out there. Just something that we do have to get better at. A lot of times we give that underneath pass up, and maybe that's part of the game plan. But at some point you got to be able to stop it. Somber says they scouted him like 3 times. It's already in existence. As Dad said, the fourth quarter pass D has been asked. But around the league, though, too, like I said, I just want to acknowledge and say that that's consistent around the league. Nobody's defense is really stepping it up in the fourth quarter. Again, I don't know it's by design or this is just how it's working out. A lot of games come down to that last drive of the game. I'm just saying. Jamal says still want a wide receiver in the first round. Man, if we could get a wide receiver in the first round, that would be great. But again, who knows what the quarterback situation? I think a lot of things are still yet to be decided on how this whole thing plays out. A lot is going to be decided on how the rest of the season goes. There we go. Vegas says folks really wanted Justin. Tortilla says the Howard versus Simpson camp will feed families. Somber, not going to lie, I hate saying this, but Mateer has more upside in my opinion. John says the Steelers will probably draft 2 wide receivers. They have to come to Pittsburgh. Free agents have a choice. Right. You're going to come here. We're going to make you. Vegas says, is Adam done for sure? Armax says the Bears owner shoved the Packers fan who tried to photobomb him and others. Will he get fined? You know what? I didn't even see that, Armac. Good question. Maybe someone else can answer on the board. Steeler Freak said there's a pattern with Rodgers. He looks great. He looks great with no pass rush. He looks bad with pass rush. Yeah, that makes sense. It's logical. Jamal says, can Calvin Austin 3 make a play and and not get lucky, but actually win off the line? He has a hard time getting separation. It's his size, and the thing is, he doesn't have elite speed. If he had elite speed, he becomes a lot better player because again with his size, it's hard to get separation, man. It's you know, Myron did stop that kick. That's right, Mark Malone. Tyron or Tortilla says, well, when they play 10 yards off, Calvin Austin the third, it's actually nice. Cody says, fire Tomlin. That was directed to Jamal. I'm pretty sure Jamal ended up saying Moot stepping up. Tyrone says, what you mean Calvin Austin third rooted that boy up? Somber Muth was Ben's favorite. And again, the beginning of his career, he started on the quickest trajectory of any tight end in the history of the Steelers. And then we hit quarterback issues, and that all fell apart. But Muth got skills, man, for sure. Somber says, I'm sorry, Tortilla says, Cody Schmody, Tyrone, everybody do their part. We win. I agree. Everybody's got to step up. Black Magic, Jamal, I'm sorry. Got to see it. I thought he just slipped. Corey Board, Tyrone, he broke him down why he slipped. And it didn't seem, when it happened, it didn't seem like it seemed that he'd be able to recover. But you know what? That speed, I guess he did have enough speed to get by him and get down the field, and he made the play. So, maybe I'm crazy. How about this one? Tortilla says he slipped because Calvin Austin the third stomped and shook the ground. Stand up. Stop and go route. It was nasty. Tyrone saying he called him more than his name. Tortilla says they ran a quick slant to him before two, so it caught the DB off guard. Cody says fire Tomlin, hire Harbaugh. I don't know about that. John says it's time to run Warren's wheels off, guys. There's no reason to hold back. Rodgers needs to stop changing run plays to pass plays. Let the run soften the D for later. Jamal F. No. Steeler Freak says it is easier to blame JH than Jackson. Oh, the Harbaugh than Jackson. That written, he needed to go. Somber says maybe I'm weird. I can watch the Steelers lose and keep watching football. See, you know what? It takes me a week. If the Steelers get eliminated from the playoffs, I need a week. I need a little cool down time. And if they lost on Saturday, I would struggle to continue to watch all the way through Monday night, the rest of the league play. It's just me. Cody says John Harbaugh is the GOAT. Tyrone says, I don't know how you do it, Somber. Yeah, me neither, man. That's a rough task. Cody Loop, Tyrone is saying. Cody Loop. Of course, reference to Tyler Loop. Tyrone also says he picked Ravens in the pick'ems too, probably. Tyrone, Ron, do we? You know what? I don't think that there is. I was wondering. I looked and I don't see any new. Mike, Mike, is there anything that can be put up? I don't know if there is anything that goes to the playoffs. This was the first year that we did the CBS pick'ems. I don't see why there wouldn't be. I'll have to look into that, guys. I was just under the assumption that there wasn't going to be, but I'll talk to Mike after the show and see. But I don't know. Why wouldn't there, right?
Yeah, there's no more picks.
The pick'ems are done.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. Let's see. So there you go. The pick'ems are done, apparently. Jamal says this, man, Jackson shouldn't get the blame at all. All 3 years in a row, his team has effed him over. Zay Andrews and now Loop. I mean, you know what else? Yes, but what else did Lamar do to get things done? I seen a lot of turnovers. I seen poor play. I seen him not having the speed, obviously. Early part of his career. I mean, he's getting older. The injuries, he doesn't have that electric. It doesn't. I think he might be. I don't know. Again, I hope his window's closed. Obviously, being under division, but he's not the same as he was, guys. I don't know. I wouldn't blame the entire season on any of those guys, but I also what has Lamar done to get it done? 1-5 start. That certainly didn't help. And I liked him. Don't get me wrong. At Louisville, I was loving Lamar Jackson, and I thought, man, if he goes to Baltimore, and I always say this, if he goes to Baltimore, man, we're going to be screwed for years to come. It just didn't play that way. And to me, it seems that his window's closing, but we will see. All right, we're going to go right here. Cody says John Harbaugh has more playoff wins than Mike Tomlin. RB says, if we have such a great coach, how come we had communication issues every other week for 6 years now? For 6 years. Good question. Jamal says that would never happen. It's retarded. Mike Tomlin has more wins over Jim Harbaugh. I think the playoffs, Harbaugh has more. But I think regular season, Mike T has more. Jamal says, man, Mike T, the MF and GOAT. Somber says Harbaugh also had a franchise QB. And that's another thing. You're right. In Tomlin's defense. If you want to call Lamar that, Harbaugh the GOAT, Cody says. Somber, Harbaugh was about to get fired before they drafted Lamar. Lamar saved his job for 8 years. Jamal says, dang, you annoying. Also, the trolling got me, LOL. Tyrone, right? Tomlin has Kenny, Mitch, the bitch, and Russ Fields still make the playoffs. That's what, come on. Do what you want. But Mitch the bitch gets them into the playoffs. Lamar Jackson can't get their team into the playoffs. Maybe. Here's the thing. The argument's going to go on and on and on and on in the debate about Tomlin. Just win big games. That's the answer. Everything else is irrelevant. We could talk about this. We could talk about that. We could talk about Lamar. We could talk about this. We could talk about the wins. We could talk about the coaches. Just win the big game. That's the answer. That's the fix-all. Just win the big game. We'll see. Vegas says this, 5'8", 215 pounds is solid. He's just short. Steeler Freak says it looks like all good games right off the bat. It's going to be a great weekend for football. It really is, guys. If you love the NFL, if you love your football, it's going to be a great weekend with all these games go all through the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, guys. 3 games, I think, Sunday. Jamal, I called it. Only reason I responded, besides you being the homie, Tyrone says, guys, I want the Chargers to beat the Pats and the Jags to beat the Bills. Yeah, me too. I don't want to see Buffalo. I acknowledge that they're not as good as they've been, but we don't match up well with Buffalo. We just don't. Jamal says we could beat Houston. I agree. It's not going to be easy, but I think we could win this football game. John says, I saw that Boz's last miss was tipped. That makes me feel better. It was a gentleman. It was a rookie. Number 39, I think it was, got his hand on that ball. It was the block that did send the trajectory of Boz's extra point off that caused the miss, of course. S Dad says, good. I was thinking Boz lost his mojo. No, it was definitely tipped. Number 49. 39 or 49, rookie. Cody says, saying Harbaugh is better than Tomlin was like saying some idiot saying Mike Vick is better than Big Ben. Tortilla says, you can't spell mojo without Boswell. Jamal says this. He says, Boz trash. S-Dad says, snap. Somber final issue of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette is in May. They're shutting down. That's interesting for your out per Alan Saunders. That's interesting. I did not know. For your information. Sorry, the FYI. John says, regardless of what happens, the O-line was a positive. It sure was. Got to like what's going on with the O-line. You got to like where it's going. Jamal says, can't hit over 60. Tyrone says, yes, he can. Boz, he did nail the 57 early in the game to get us going, to get us on the board. Boz, the GOAT, as Tyrone is saying, Jamal, why you think we never try it? We did hit the 60. We did hit 57, though. We did do that last game. As Dad said, I can live with that. Jamal says, no receiver will come here from free agency. Miss Pittsburgh says, in Boz, we trust. As Dad says, the O can't be that pussified that we need to rely on 60-yard field goals. Mark Malone says, we've got to overcome the Tomlin taintings. Jamal says, I need to know who to ignore, LOL. Jamal also says, Somber stole my show. Let's jump him. Tortilla says Somber is CIA. Don't jump the CIA. Let's see. Somber, I drove by the CIA once on the way back from Virginia to Virginia from New York. Somber says headquarters in Virginia. CIA, of course. Jamal says must have blocked me or something. I can't see the comments. Oh, the Tater. I haven't seen him for a while either. Maybe Mike blocked him. I don't know. Bingo says this. Lamar's head case too, falling asleep in the team meetings because of a video game addiction, not committed, do that shit in the off season. Weirdo Mark Malone says, just think if Harbaugh had Big Ben, he would have probably won 5 Super Bowls. Corey, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Corey Beavers on the terrible board. My man, he says, I haven't been keeping up with the NFL news lately. Who's on track to be back Monday and who's out? Oh, I mean, we're heading into the playoffs, man. We got a lot of games this weekend, a lot of good football games. The Steelers will be playing Houston Monday, and we seem relatively healthy. So, you know what, we're going to take that, and hopefully we get this win. I think we match up well enough with Houston to be able to win this football game. I do believe that. Tortilla says, absolutely not. Mark, no way. Talking about the Harbaugh Ben comment. Also, Jamal gang to Corey Beavers. Always great seeing Corey back. Mark Malone says he got one with Flacco. That is a good point. Somber says college football playoff games tomorrow and Friday as well. That's right, guys. It's a big week for football. I love it. You hate it because, again, you know football's going to be done soon when you're these games. But when it's here, man, it doesn't get much better than this. Tortilla because of the defense. Mark Malone, right? Tyrone, hella football this week. Tortilla follows it up by saying Jackson is 2-time MVP. Would you say he's better than Flacco? Interesting. 2-time MVP, never got it done. Flacco, bad unibrow, he gets it done. Jamal says they turned on me, Ryan, but I wouldn't expect anything less from their kind. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on over there with that Tater. But again, I haven't seen him around. Maybe Mike gave him the boot. Tortilla says, yeah, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, but it was all Flacco. No, defense played a big part of it for sure. All right, right here. Mark Malone says, nah, he was just running around like a college quarterback and flinging against bad teams in the regular season at Tortilla. Tyrone says, nah, but Flacco did play well that playoff run. That was his best run. No two ways about that. In my life, in his career, seeing him play, that run was very impressive by way of Joe Flacco. I wasn't a huge Joe Flacco fan as far as just being a football fan. I didn't think he was that good. I mean, he was better than average, I think, but he really played his ass off in that particular run. Somber says, what? I don't even stream. Tortilla says exactly. He had one good run. That doesn't mean that John would have won 5 Super Bowls with Ben. Steeler Freak says Jackson is better than Flacco in the regular season, but not in the playoffs. Good point. Mark Malone says maybe only 4. Tortilla, if he can't get back with the 2-time MVP, then I don't know if he's getting back with anyone, bro. Somber says this. I'm not going to say anything. Not worth it. I'm not even sure what's going on. What am I missing on the board? I feel like I'm missing something. Cody says Pat Fryermuth will have a better career than George Pickens. It just depends on how you define better career, I guess. Who knows? Pat Fryermuth is, again, when things were okay and things were all right and the quarterback situation wasn't a disaster, he was one of the better tight ends early in his career. Steeler Freak says if Jackson is staying up late playing Madden football only, I think that isn't a bad thing. I assume that is considered studying. Yeah, no, football study. Let's see, gang, Corey Beavers, Jamal says in fake, but that was obvious. And Corey, and then I'm going to get into some Houston Texans numbers, guys, as we are rounding third here on the show. Corey says this at John. He was up all night throwing interceptions against Pittsburgh's defense on Madden. Dude can't read the field anywhere. Let me pull up some of these numbers, guys, because this is where we are at this time. This is going to be, we talked a little bit about who the results of what the Houston Texans did this past season. We're going to take a look at what's going on with this Houston Texans by some more numbers here. Let me pull it up. Here we go. Houston Texans, Houston Texans had a strong 2025 season, ranking highly in several defensive categories. Again, the defense of this team, guys, is they're legit. They really are. Just think when we played Cleveland last week, it's going to be similar. Here we go. First in points allowed. They've only let up 16.3 points per game this season. The Houston Texans defense, and first in total yards allowed, only giving up 258.1 yards per game. Again, guys, that's pretty damn good. This defense is, again, their bread and butter. While their offense ranked around the middle, but performed well in specific areas like fourth down conversions, showing a dynamic, balanced team heading into the playoffs, guys. The Houston offense, total yards, 19 overall. They're right at about 330 yards per game. Points per game, they're 21st overall at about 22 points per game. They're 25th in yards per game, guys, with yards per play at 5.1 yards per play. The Houston Texans are. On third down conversions, they're 26th. See what I'm saying? I like the matchup, guys. This is a good matchup for us. Third down conversion rate, 26th in the league, guys, 36%. Fourth down conversion rate, the Texans are 11 overall with a 62.5 conversion rate. And then on defense, the defense is their bread and butter, of course. Their defense looks like this. Points allowed, 16.3, which is first overall. Total yards allowed, 258.1, first overall. Yards per play, again, 4.6 yards per play, second overall in the league. In third down conversion, guys, this could be an issue for us. We have to figure out how to stay on the field, move the sticks, and keep their offense off the field. Right here, third down conversion rate allowed, guys, third in the league. So, again, this defense is legit. This is going to be a tough, very tough defense to face, guys, as they, again, at just 34.4% giving up third downs, third overall in the league. So the defense is all that. It's going to be a game similar to Cleveland, in my opinion. I wouldn't expect much difference. I'd go back, of course, while you're learning what it is that Houston does, maybe take a look back at how we played against a defense that is similar to that, with that number one pass defense that we faced against Cleveland a couple weeks ago in the 13-6 loss up in the mistake by the lake. So, guys, a lot of it's going to be a good game. It should, in theory, be a good game, and hopefully we finish on top of this one and get the win. But, guys, there's the numbers. Great defense, and so-so offense. We just seen this, so we could be as prepared as anybody else for this particular game against these guys. Let me get on the board here. We are going to get ready to turn into the fourth quarter of the show, if you will. Let me see what's going on the board. Jamal, nothing to see except I wonder what's going on. Who turned on Jamal? See, I'm not seeing it either. Cody said, "Who turned on Jamal?" I don't know. I don't choose sides. I'm a man, bro. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. Maybe I don't know. Is Tater here? Is he causing problems? Mike, is there issues? Do we need to get rid of what's going on? Let's see. Jamal says, "Oh, okay, somber. I don't know. I didn't realize there was something going on with the guys here." Jamal says, "Just had a lot to get off my chest." Interesting. Somber says, I don't know. Apparently, Jamal called me gay. I don't know. I can't see his messages. I'll let him do his thing. Guys, I don't know. Let's get ready for the Steelers, man. It doesn't seem like it, whatever it was. In my opinion, it doesn't seem too crazy, but let's see. Tortilla Izzy has to swear upon the terrible towel and convert to Yinzerism. Jamal says, "Who cares why you're so obsessed with that dude?" Cody says, choose I didn't ask you to choose that is gay. I just couldn't believe you were agreeing with the stupid shit he was saying." Somber says, "The board is chalked, Ryan. Don't read it." Steeler Freak says, "Not being able to read defenses, especially post-snap, is Jackson's biggest problem. The team might be thinking Madden can help him." Some drama, Armac is saying. Tortilla says, "Everybody love everybody." Wade DeMoss, what's up, dude? He says, "No, it's Jamal." Jamal says, "No, they turn on." Who's turning on Jamal? Guys, This is playoff time. Let's get on the same squad, man. Come on. We'll pull it together. We're all right. Wade DeMoss says Jamal and Izzy are the queens of drama. Somber says it's not really that deep, dude. Also, Somber says moving on. Cody says, why would anyone be obsessed with a 300-pound guy that changes teams every other week? Jamal says, because Wade and Cody was doing weird shit on my channel. Bingo. I'm just making chili. Chili sounds freaking awesome. Chili's a perfect January food, isn't it? Jamal says, y'all bring them up every day. Tortilla says, even when we're winning, we still find something to argue about. That's true. Why am I surprised? Vegas says, gay means happy too, you know. Jamal says, Wade, why are you even here? So yes, I'm not sure what's going on. It seemed like it might have spilled over from Jamal's show. So I'm going to continue here moving forward. Vegas says the gay MFers bogarted it. Cody's still blaming shit on me. It's not my hold on, it's moving on me. It's not my fault. Soldier boy.
Hey,
Yeah.
I had to take a work call. The last thing I see is Somber is in the CIA, and next thing I come back to like these weird ass comments going on. I'm trying to figure it out too, Ryan. I'm sorry.
Okay. What did you say? You had the shit? You had diarrhea?
No, I said work called me.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me get back at it.
Motherfucker.
I thought you said
I'm more interested in what Somber's doing in the CIA than the infighting between some of the guys.
Well, hold on. It's getting interesting. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Jamal says, Wade, come on my page calling him a name, and bro, I don't F with him at all. I don't who Wade. I've seen Wade come up a couple times on here. I'm not even real familiar with Wade. So I don't know, guys. Hopefully these guys could get that all straightened out. I don't know. Somber says, I'll laugh my ass off. This is not the place for this conversation. Guys, come on. Somber, y'all know Ryan reads everything. That's right, baby. I don't miss anything. Wade says this. He says, me. Izzy showed a naked man spread eagle, then tried saying the spirits told him Cody and me had green screens.
See, this is what the CIA does. They come into an area and they disrupt things. Yeah. Somber's an agitator right now. He got done with Venezuela and had to come up here.
I'm not sure what's going on, everybody. Tyrone says y'all need to chill out, though. And you know what, Tyrone? I always trust Tyrone's word, and I'm going to follow him on that one. I think maybe we should all chill. Again, it seems like everybody here knows one another at least, so I'm not really sure the extent of this. So I'm going to move forward myself. Wade says this. All I know, Steelers winning 35-28. We will take that for sure. Also, Cody says, Izzy told Jamal the spirits told him I did something I didn't do, and Jamal believes it. Mark Malone says this. Yeah, when things are going good, we've got to fight each other. we don't have the Ravens fans and the Taters to fight right now, so what the hell? We got to fight each other. Wade says A-Rod going for 320 and 4 touchdowns, bro. That would be awesome if that actually happens. But that defense, man, I don't know if you're being facetious or you are being real, but again, that would be an amazing day against that defense for sure. Jamal says, yeah, I thought you did that shit to Izzy, Cody, but I didn't give a fuck. You mad? I don't believe a liar. Come on now. I ain't even talked down on you, though. No, Wade trash. Wade says, I was at work when it happened. Mark Malone says, I'll start some shit with Mike if we win next week. With Mark, he's saying, oh, Mark, okay, Tortilla's saying, laughing. Mark says, Vegas says cheese, spaghetti, and chili with the Cincinnati favorite dish. You know what? I don't hate spaghetti with chili on it. A lot of people talk trash because it is what they do over in Cincinnati. It's actually pretty good, in my opinion. Spaghetti, pasta with chili on it. I don't know. It's pretty good. Somber says this. I have to at least do with the drama. Trust me. Jamal says they really fucked up my show, Ryan. That's why I don't go. Yeah, I was wondering what's going on, dude. Interesting. Mike says that's what the CIA would say. Wade says this is Aaron Rodgers. He gets different in the playoffs. Steeler Freak says, I worked for the CIA for 14 years in Germany after getting out of the Army. Don't worry, Mike. I sent them your profile with my personal assessment of you.
See, now there's two of them in here. That's how they start. They bring in one, then they bring in another.
I don't know what the hell is going on. Hold on.
The CIA.
Well, I got to be honest with you here. Hold on. Let me get Jamal. And then we're going to get ready to start turning things in here shortly, but I'm going to try to figure out what's going on. Jamal says, no, Wade was coming on my show, calling me that name, and is the only thing that pissed me off. I don't care about that trolling. Is he shit? Yeah, I mean, that's topically from hearing your side of the story, that's not cool. Again, I don't know the content. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if he's know one another. But yes, right off the top, not cool. Let's see what Tyrone says. Tyrone will get us filled in. He says this, Ryan, just short version. I was on live, just myself, and Izzy came on, and it was some gay shit, and he swears it wasn't him, and Izzy blamed Cody, but who knows? I mean, was somebody messing around? Was somebody, were they, just was they jagging around, or was this really something to? I don't know. Bingo says check his boots. Wade says Jamal and Izzy were at Epstein's Island and did the. Is Wade from your show, guys? Does Wade spend a lot of time at your show? Because again, I've seen Wade here a couple times, but I'm not real familiar. He says Izzy has 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Again, I don't know how you guys know one another, so these could be funny jokes between friends with the bottles of oil and this and that. But again, I just don't know what the connection is, guys, between everybody, the Steelers gang and Wade. But let me continue on here. John says the agency is more interested in Derpy. They think his goofy personality would work great undercover. Vegas says Sammy Coates causing problems. Also, Tortilla says Vegas, LOL. Vegas says Derpy would spill the beans for a double Big Mac and Lord. You ain't shitting. Even less than that. Okay, so Wade, you are from the show, though. You guys all know one another. Huh. I'm going to stay out of it. I don't know what's going on. It sounds like it's between Yins guys. Hope everything gets worked out, especially if Yins guys all know one another. But it seems like Jamal's certainly mad. So, Tyrone, you're the one that knows all these guys, man. Maybe try to round them up and get everybody ready for the game. Monday, Tortilla says Wade is from Venezuela. Bingo says, it's text, so it's as serious as a person reads it. Somber says, back to the Steelers, guys. It is time. We are at that part of the show. And Tyrone says, but it ain't time for this, guys. So there you go. I trusted Jamal and Tyrone and everybody over there is going to get things taken care of. But what we're going to do now, we're going to get ready to head into how well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? Nah, you're good, dude. It's all good, brother. You can talk about anything here, man. So let's do this, guys. Mike, can you hear me?
Unfortunately, yeah, I'm here.
Mike, why don't you tell everybody about the website, and then we're going to get into this trivia of the day.
The dumyinzers.com. Check it out, everyone. You know whatever the dumb thoughts and all of our social media links. And no, there's no nudie pics of Derpy. That's behind the OnlyFans account.
All right, everybody, there you go. Go check out the website at www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. Go check it out. A lot of cool stuff over at the website. Mike does a lot of work. It's his dumb thoughts up, all of our contact information, all the links to every show that we've ever did. And even if you think that this logo right to my left is sharp, there's a lot of cool merchandise over there with this logo on it. Go check it out at www.the2dumyinzers.com. All right, guys, time to get into it. How well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? This is the Houston Texans we're going to be facing off of in this wild card game Monday night right here in the North Shore. Guys, so the trivia question is going to be a Houston Texans trivia question. Put on your thinking caps, everybody at home. Here we go. Question of the day. Who was the Houston Texans' first head coach? Yesterday, what was their inaugural season? Today's question is, who was the Houston Texans' first head coach? Take a minute to think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 to 2 o'clock p.m. every day right here on the Tube.
Tube.
I knew you were gonna. I knew you were gonna do that. That's why I even paused. I thought, you know what, he's gonna do it. Guys, question of the day. Who was the Houston Texans' first head coach back in 2002? Jamal, LOL. He says David Carr. head coach, the first head coach for the Wade Phillips. Not a bad guess by Vegas. Steeler Freak says Bob Marley, of course. Not a bad guess, right? Wade says yes, 2002 was their first season. Jamal says Mike Tomlin. Whitney Houston Tortilla is saying, guys, the Houston Texans' inaugural season was 2002. That was yesterday's trivia question. The question of today is this: who was their first head coach? I'm going to give you a hint because nobody's really jumping up with the answer. I'm seeing answers. Here's the hint for the question: he was an assistant coach under Bill Cowher. Guys, an assistant coach under Bill Cowher from the Bill Cowher tree, guys. Who is the? Guess? No, you can't take a guess. Let some people guess first. What are you doing? In a minute, once we play, once we let people play, guys. So there you go. Wade is saying no idea. No one knows this. Jamal is saying. Question of the day: who was the Houston Texans' first head coach back in the 2002 inaugural season? Give another moment. If nobody knows it, Mike, then you could answer. How's that?
That's fine. That's fine.
All right. On the board, I do see TCO G69 is saying Dom Capers. Not a bad guess. Tortilla is saying I don't know. Greg something. Vegas over under half former Steelers to appear on the show the rest of the year. Steeler Freak says we need to find a Texan fan to show up on the podcast so we could use them for good luck. It seems to work. It seems to be working, right? Bingo says not Dom Capers. And good old Dom is who Vegas is saying, guys. Just another second. Throw up your answers. Throw up your guesses and thoughts. It might be right. Throw it up there. Who is the first head coach ever for the Houston Texans, guys? But in the meantime, don't forget you could go and you have a chance. You really have a chance to grab my balls. That's right. Grab my balls playoff giveaway right here. This football behind me autographed by Steelers defensive captain Cam Hayward, Steelers great wide receiver Antonio Brown, homegrown Charlie Batch, David DeCastro, Cortez Allen, Derek Moy, and Ross Vitrone. That's right, guys. You could win this football Monday. Monday, we are drawing. It's going to be totally transparent. We're going to do it in a way that everything is seen, everything is watched, observed. No funny business, guys. You do have a chance to win this amazing giveaway, guys. It has all those autographs on it. Just $1 right down in the super chat is all it's going to take to get you eligible. You could make as many plays as you want, but it's $1 per play, $1 per entry. So if you do $1, you have one shot. If you do 5, you get 5. You know how that goes, guys. So don't forget, you have a chance to grab my balls in this Grab My Balls playoff giveaway right here. It's an awesome giveaway. I can't wait to give it away. I'm going to be honest with you guys. But we have till Monday. We'll be drawing it on game day as we do get ready to play the Texans on Monday. Mark Malone saying, yeah, Dom Caper sounds right. Steeler Freak says, worst case, have Finch make a false account to F with us. Caper says 2001. I'm sorry, Big Slim. I do want to say welcome to Big Slim 20s on the terrible board. Great seeing you, sir. Welcome. He says capers. Tortilla says there's a fine line between drinking wine and squashing capers. Mike, go ahead. You could tell everybody what the correct answer is for the question. Who was the inaugural coach for the Houston Texans back in 2002? Mike, who's the answer?
Was it Dom Capers?
It was. Dom Capers is correct, guys. Great job.
Nice. Well done, everyone.
Mark Malone, Tortilla, Big Slim, everybody, guys. Great job. You guys nailed it. Dom Capers from the Bill Cowher coaching tree, very first coach of the Houston Texans back in 2002, guys. Grab a couple more of these messages as we are starting to wrap up for today. Good old Dom is what Vegas says. Somber says, if I had Ryan's balls, they'd be my balls, not his. Tomlin, I like that. Yes, that is Tomlin sense. That Tomlin logic, right? Tyrone says, you know what they say, if my aunt had male parts to be my uncle. Vegas says, I'm looking forward to your beer can pyramid growing. Also, Bingo says this, A-Rod's been singing Will Howard praises. He sure has. Wade says this, I think DK coming back is going to be the difference in this game. If we lost him in the playoffs too, it would be it would be mad worrisome. I couldn't agree with you more, but I think having DK and having our defense healthy, it's really on. And we are as healthy as we've been all year. So, we don't have excuses. Let's figure out how to get this win and go get it done. Jamal says, F it, Derby and Finch loyal, and Tortilla and Tyrone still on everyone on Izzy's show, but y'all don't F with me. Jamal says, they Googled it, man. They might have. They might have. Vegas says, I
That
didn't
is a
get off.
distinct possibility that I Googled that.
I believe me, I know that you Googled it. You want to know how I knew you Googled it? Because you sounded unsure when you said it. I thought that's reverse psychology, and I know you.
I was thinking either him or Jim Haslett, but because I knew Haslett coached
Haslett was at the Saints. Yeah.
And Capers was with the Panthers, and I didn't know which one coached again. But I was leaning towards Dom Capers, and I just went with the flow. I pulled a tortilla. I just went with the herd.
Nah, that's all good, man. Vegas says I didn't get it off top. Tortilla, I didn't know that shit. I just went with everyone else. Dom Capers, yes, that is who it was. Miss Pittsburgh. Let's see. Jamal, I fucked with you and Cody and Tyrone. Still, I slapped the F out of the rest of them. Vegas says that was a good hint, though. Guys, a few things before we do get going for the day. If you haven't had a chance, go check out our social media. We are all over the internet, guys. You can swing over to Facebook. You can swing over to X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Go over and hit the follow button. Keep up with what's going on with the Two Dumb Yinzers on a day-to-day basis. Also, if you haven't had a chance yet, do hit the like button down below. The like button, sub, share, comment, whatever you can. It all helps us out in the algorithm. We appreciate it all. Thank you, guys. I do want to also say this, being brought up about this pyramid behind me. The guys at Duquesne Pilsner and the gals, of course, as well. They always do the greatest job in including us in all their promotions. So do us a favor and go help them guys out. They're getting a lot of momentum. Duquesne Pilsner is working its way back to the top, guys. They are now available. You can pick up 12 packs in Giant Eagle here in Western Pennsylvania. Also, keep your eyes open as they can be coming 12 packs in cases to distributors near you. Guys, as you're getting ready for this game this week, nothing better will get you more prepared than a case of Duquesne Pilsner. We always have it on tap here at the studio, guys. Again, go over, show some love on their social media, guys. It all helps. It all helps. Brewed right here in Pittsburgh, Duquesne Pilsner, guys. As it says on the can, grab a Duke. Let me grab a couple more of these messages, guys, and we are going to wrap it up for today on this Wednesday, this hump day installment of the show. It seems like it's taking a while to get through this week because we don't play till Monday, but it's all right. It's all right. We go right here. Wade says, TJ, Cam, Alex, and our two big boys in the middle, we are good in the trenches. Our offensive line has been playing decently. Rodgers has played against great defenses in the playoffs before. Armax says, tell him to shut the fuck up. Jerk off. Big Slim says, I knew it was Capers. New Google over here. You know what? I believe you. You came up there really quick. Wade says, Aaron Rodgers has the most history in the playoffs and will ball out. Jamal says, okay, Big Slim, 20, good deal. A-Rod, we trust. This is what Tyrone is saying. Armax says, this year has a 2005 super. It does. And you know what? I've been saying this for a couple of weeks, Armac. And Charlie Batch even came out and said this, whose name is on this football right here, by the way. Charlie Batch said this reminds him a lot of the 2005 season. We played the NFC North. We needed to win a bunch of games. There was kind of a game that really set the tone. I think even the Lions weren't that great, but now there were the Bears back in that year. But that game that we beat the Lions really kind of set the tone. And again, it has a feel like the 2005 season. And again, the 2005 team was not even expected to be in the playoffs. One of the worst offensive lines in the league. They needed to win 4 games to get in as a 6 seed. It has a lot of similarities, guys, between this and the season 20 years ago when the Steelers made it to the Super Bowl to win that one for the thumb finally. Wade says this. He says, bro, Jamal, I'm going to let the two guys, I'm going to let them go at it on the board. I'm going to stay out of this one. Mike T for life. Wade says he really has, Ryan. I think about the 2005 season, what he's talking about. Jamal says this, talking trash with the Steeler gang. Come have fun and talk some trash. Go check them out, guys. I love watching Jamal and the boys over on the Talking Trash with the Steeler gang. Of course, a lot of guys from the terrible board. Jamal, Tyrone, Cody, Somber, Armac, all these guys. Go check them out. Great stuff. Somber says, sorry about the BS, Ryan. Mike, great stream. Hey, man, it's all good, bro. No problems at all. Tortilla says big boss won't miss another kick rest of the year. Mark Malone, I definitely didn't know they started about the turn of the century though. Miss Pittsburgh, great show, and we appreciate that as always, Miss Pittsburgh. Thank you for being here as well, bright and early. Miss Pittsburgh was here and showing a lot of energy and support for the Steelers. Love to see it. RMAX says strong end of the season, 4-1. That's what I'm saying. We get to hey, listen, if we can get this done, we'll finish the season 8-1, and we'll be talking about the season for a long time. As Steeler fans, if they could get it done, so we're still in it, guys. The fact of the matter is, we're still in it. There's other people that have no chance. Think of it that way. There's people that have zero chance. They're already at home on the couch. George Pickens has no chance. Baltimore Ravens have no chance. The Cleveland Browns never have a chance. Guys, we're still in this thing. We're still talking about these games. We're still figuring out what it is we're going to do to win football games. This thing is going to keep going until it's not, guys. And we're here for it every step of the way. Tyrone says this. TJ Watt will wreck this game. Ryan and Mike, I hope you're right. I hope he balls out. Wade says TJ will absolutely ball out. Ball is a suspect. Jamal, TCO G69. Who better to have than a quarterback that can read defenses? That's a huge plus. You got a lot of young quarterbacks, guys, that are Bo Nix with Denver, Drake May, a good quarterback, albeit. But, guys, a lot of these quarterbacks, they don't have something that our quarterback has. The cerebral ability. They just haven't, somebody that's been here for 21 years, seen it, knows it, and those little things that maybe these young guys will overlook or just won't catch it all entirely. So, again, I think we're just as much in it. The way this year is, I think we're just as much in it as anybody else is at this point. So, we'll see how things play out this weekend, and we'll go from there. Balls want redemption. Absolutely. He's got you know what? Again, that ball was blocked. Number 49, the rookie from Baltimore, did get his hand on that ball. So that played out like that. Salute at Jamal. Big Slim is saying, gang, Jamal, my man, always. Wade says this. Mahomes has no chance. You gotta again where we're at. You gotta again, all these other guys have zero chance. The Steelers, the team that was giving no chance from the beginning, still have a chance. So do what you want with that, guys. That's why we don't back down. That's why we do this till the very end. That's why we don't give up when we lose to Baltimore or to Buffalo. That's why we continue on when the team doesn't win a Super Bowl. We love the Steelers, baby. We love the Steelers no matter what. Big Slim, he says, they say in balls, the field goal is blocked. You know what, Jamal? I don't see it, to be honest with you. If you get a chance, guys, maybe we'll talk about it a little bit tomorrow. Watch that video of the block. They say it was blocked. The guy goes up to block it, and I don't see it. I don't doubt it. I don't think they're lying. He just, again, it seemed like his hand wasn't that close to the ball when it got blocked. Check it out, guys. We'll talk about it a little bit tomorrow to kick the show off, but it wasn't. There's definitely not a distinctive block. But again, we have no reason to not believe him. But watch it. Just see if you can see the block. I didn't zoom in. I didn't watch, frame by frame by any means. But I did see that it certainly didn't look blocked. But this is what they're telling us. Real quick, I am going to give you guys this. I'm going to give you my top 5 moments. 2025. I promised you I was going to do it. Here we are. I mean, it's already May, crying out loud, but I'm going to give you the top 5 moments of the show real quick as we get ready to go off today. Number five, 1,000 comments a little bit over a month ago. First time ever for the history of the show. You guys were killing it on the board, and you did reach over 1,000 comments, and they've been really great lately. 800's up high a lot, and I do give it to you guys, and thank you so much. But number 5 moment of the year, we reached 1,000 comments. Number 5 in my top 5 moments of Two Dumb Yinzers 2025 season, guys. Number four, the fight early in the season, guys. I know some of you guys might have been rolling a little bit later, but Mike and I got into a big fight earlier in the year. Mike turned my volume down, and I literally bolted out of my studio, and we were about to be in fisticuffs down in the hallway. But the fight was number 4.
I do it again.
Number 4 is the fight. Number three on the list, guys, is the great Steelers. We had a lot of good Steelers early in the season last year. Right around playoff time, we tend to try to bring Steelers on the show. Last year in playoffs before the Baltimore game, we had about 3 or 4 different Steelers. That would have been, in my opinion, the third best moment of the season or the 2025 year for the show. Number two, Mike's freakout moment. Mike's freakout moment that we're still feeling the aftershocks, if you will, from that. Mike, your freakout moment made it to my number 2 for the 2025 year. My number 1 moment on the Two Dumb Yinzers, guys, as we get ready to wrap up the show, number 1, I don't think anybody could dispute this. The moment Derpy popped up on the show with no shirt on, he didn't know it was coming. He was eating chips or whatever the hell he was doing. He had grease and food all over his face, and he had no clothes on. But he used to be totally incognito. And it was the very first time the viewers would see Derpy's face, but it was also the very first time that we were all horrified, live, real time, Derpy's large breasts out for all to see right here on the show. The number 1 moment in the 2025 calendar year for the Two Dumb Yinzers, guys. Again, number five, 1,000 comments, a big accomplishment. Number 4, the big fight. Mike and I's big fight, almost a fist fight here on the show. Number 3, all the Steelers guests. We love having the Steelers by. Number 2, the second highest, biggest moment of the show from last year. Mike's big crash out. Number 1, the shirtless Derpy. The shirtless Derp, guys, the number 1 moment of 25, in my opinion. I think a lot of you guys enjoyed that as well. It was a big surprise here on the Two Dumb Yinzers. But now, finally, here it is on January 7th. I finally got out my top 5. Finally got a little bit extra time to be able to do that. But that is the top 5 moments right here from the 2025 year, guys. Number 1, Derpy with no shirt. There it is. I hope that sends you off to your day and brings you many great memories. Let me jump in here and grab a couple more, guys. I see a bunch of short comments. I think I can get in on this. Let's go right here. Josh Allen is the scariest AFC quarterback outside. I agree. Josh Allen's. I don't want to face Josh Allen. I just don't. Say this, say that, say their windows closed and say they're not good. I don't want to face them. Mike Tomlin apparently on TV talking about John getting fired. Okay, let's see. I think got some people talking about the block here. I just want to grab a couple of these messages before we go. Tortilla's going to check it out after this. Big Slim didn't see the block. Guys, check it out. John says, I think it was tipped to turn into a knuckleball. Tyrone says it was blocked. Jamal says, didn't look blocked in the way it curved at the end of the kick does give me a block. That's what I'm saying. Check it out, guys. We'll get into it first thing tomorrow. See what everybody thinks. Congratulations. Thank you on that, Big Slim, my man. Appreciate that, sir. Tyrone, Steeler Freak 100%. Vegas, it sliced my golf shot. It sliced like my golf shot. It sure did. Tyrone definitely was blocked. Boz never would never. Mark Malone, I knew we'd be in it. JPJ the GOAT, Tyrone. Vegas says, you know what? It's not out of the possibility. Lloyd can very well be a guest here. Let me see what we could do. We still love you, Mike. Absolutely. Steeler Freak says that to Mike. Derpy, the number 1 moment. Steeler Freak says, Twin Peaks. Derpy, the winner. Keep your shirt on. We will name that episode Twin Peaks. How's that, John? Also, Tyrone, wait, you and Mike almost. Dude, it was, I think Cody, asked Cody about it. I think that was some of the earlier episodes when Cody was here. Get a chance to talk to Cody. It was crazy, man. Also, BT worried about racism. Finchy says shirtless Derpy for the win. Vegas says shirtless Derpy should be on a shirt. Ay. Would you buy that, guys? Would you buy a shirt with
who would
Derpy?
buy that? You sick fucks.
A shirtless Derpy on the front of it. Black Magic was VT was mad about the all white team. LOL. Let me go here. Also, Jamal says this wasn't the only channel to do that. I thought it was cool. What was that? The only channel to do what? I'm missing it. I apologize. Steelers 49ers Super Bowl is what Jamal was saying. Vegas says the all-white NBA team isn't bad. I saw that, but I don't know if they could play much defense. I'm gonna be honest with you. The guys looked. It was a nice team, but you're putting those guys against. If you're gonna put them against other best players. Larry Bird's nice. The big guys are nice. John Stock, I don't know. Again, I'm not. I don't like the defense for that all-white NBA team. I'm just saying. Steeler Freak says Allen has the most pressure to win. Also, Somber says knuckleball was spinning end over end. LOL. Jamal, oh yeah, with Europe now, that team would be nasty. Vegas, I think Taylor would be happy to do the show. Tortilla says, I heard Hooters is rebranding under Derpies. Big Slim says, salute my friends, family back to work. For me, I have a positive productive day. Good for you, brother. Hope it goes well. Jamal says the all-white team people do it all. That's what I'm saying, right? We didn't have any problems. And then Jamal says, I don't see anything racist about it. No, not racist. Absolutely not. Race humor and racist are two totally different things, people. Vegas says this, like Dave Chappelle said when he was playing as Rick James, the milk's gone bad. Hooters, shirtless derby sounds like an unnatural sex act I could perform back on my neighbor in 1984. Y'all pray for me to get over this flu. Absolutely, my man. I hope you feel better, Tyrone. Love having you here. Always love having you here. I'm going to stop right there. You guys, crazy day on the terrible board, but you know what? We're always here for it. Jamal, my man, big facts. That's right, brother. Everybody get it together. Let's get it together, guys. Because our common enemy this week is the steers of Texas. Smear the steer. That is the theme this week, guys. So everybody, I do want to say thank you again. Thank you for coming in to hang out with us, everybody. We do appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. Everybody on the board, you guys always keep things interesting. Always. You are the lifeblood of the show, guys. A fantastic job as always. Everybody at home, listening, watching, gym, car, work, wherever you may be. Thank you to everybody. You all make the show worth it. And again, we wouldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. Mike, anything before we wrap it up for today?
I'm just happy I made it into the top 5 moments twice.
You did. It was 2 times you made it in the top 5, man.
I did. I mean, that's better than having the top moment. So I'll take 2 in the top 5. I'll take that.
All right, there you go. Mike back in. Mike very much back in things, guys. Landing in 2 of the top 5 moments of the year here at the 2 Dum Yinzers. Guys, we'll be back at our regular time tomorrow. It's Thursday already. We're heading into the college playoffs. We're heading into the pro playoffs this weekend. One more thing. I do want to throw this out. Much love and congratulations and a shout out to Matt Sieg from Fort Cherry High School right here in Western Pennsylvania, guys, as he gets the national honors and was recognized as the top high school player in the country. Matt Sieg did go to Penn State. He did commit, and then once all the stuff went down with the coach, he changed. He's going to West Virginia. Matt Sieg from the high school that Marty Schottenheimer went, right here in Western Pennsylvania, Fort Cherry. Matt Sieg is the best high school player coming out of high school this year. Good luck to him moving forward. Great job, young man. Hope to see you on Sundays one day. Everybody, thank you so much for coming and hanging out today. Again, we'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. I can't wait to see everybody back tomorrow and get into it. Again, it's all Texans from here on out. The Ravens are gone. They're done. Close the door. They're on the couch, out of sight, out of mind. All Texans moving forward, guys. We're here for it, and we're going to get that win on Monday night. I pretty much guarantee it. So we'll see everybody tomorrow. Again, thank you so much. I hope everybody has a great Wednesday, a great hump day. Tyrone, get better, dude. I can't wait to see a healthy Tyrone back on the board, guys, as well as everybody else. You guys are all amazing. Great job. Thank you so much, as always, for the 2 Dum Yinzers, Finchy, for Derpy, for Mike, myself, the 2 Dum Yinzers. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.